Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Puddy and welcome back to the best biannual wrestling podcast on the airwaves. It is the Puddcast, not the one with Jonathan Puddle. No, I'm Colin Puddy. I am joined, as always, not always, most of the time these days, by the Canadian sensation.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely call me that. I mean, I don't know who would call me that, but
I mean, I figured you call yourself that.
I've never called myself that.
I mean, they could check the tapes.
They can, and they will find that never happened.
All right, well, good luck with that. I wish you the
Not
best
playing ball.
in the oncoming lawsuits that will occur. So we're gonna talk about some wrestling. It's gonna be pretty general today. We've both been watching the Best of Super Juniors. We're at different stages. We've probably watched about the same amount of the graps in that tournament. Tucker is a couple of days behind, but he's watching both blocks. I looked at Block B and said, nah. So I'm mostly just watching Block A. I'm watching a few matches from Block B, but not a lot. General summary, because we're not going to get in detail till later, is I'm really enjoying it. I think it's one of the best tournaments the Super Juniors has done in years. Especially since they started broadcasting all the matches, because they didn't used to. So, I'm really enjoying it. Just general thoughts before we move on to... Because we're obviously going to talk about it in detail later, but general thoughts.
I think overall there have been a couple really good matches, but at least in my opinion, it's been pretty average. Like there's been a couple things I think that have been downright awful. Obviously, I'm watching Beat Block, but I think for the majority of stuff that you would care about, it's pretty fine.
Cool. Well, we'll talk about it in a bit more detail in a little bit. We're going to preview TakeOver in a bit. That's probably going to be the last thing we do. Actually, we might do that before Best of the Super Juniors. We're going to preview TakeOver. I haven't actually seen the card, so it's going to be kind of a live reaction to the card. I've seen rumors.
Yeah, I don't know the full thing.
Well, I think we looked at the card when it only had 3 matches on it last time we were on air.
Right, yes.
We were pretty excited about it. And I've seen the kind of non-title match that often gets thrown onto these cards, and that looks really exciting. So, I'm looking forward to previewing it. We're not going to be doing a show for it on Sunday. Tucker's either away or busy, depending on what time it ends up dropping. Maybe we'll do a show early next week, but we'll see. Actually, I was thinking. Actually, I haven't talked to you about this. This is a surprise for Tucker live on air.
Wow!
So, the 6th, which is, I believe, next Thursday. Yeah, it is next Thursday. Next Thursday, it might be Friday. It's I don't know what it's going to be because obviously time zones, is the Best of Super Juniors final. And we could do that live.
Yeah, I will get caught up if that's what that means. Like I will run the whole thing because I did it last year at the G1. It's my favorite accomplishment in wrestling. I had 4 shows left with I think 5 hours to the final, and
well, that's not
that
you didn't watch all the matches then.
Not all the tags or anything.
No, and even the singles matches. If you had 4 shows in 5 hours, 4 shows in 5 hours is 4 shows is at least 20 matches. At least
you're right,
but it could be more.
That's wrong.
Nights.
I did something along the lines of that where I had more than 2 shows for sure, and I was going to have to just sit and watch them all in order to try to cram to make it, and I did. I had, I think, 10 minutes to spare. It's the greatest achievement of my wrestling viewing career.
Well, if you don't if you don't slack, you won't have to do too much on that level this time around, since you have till next Thursday. But that should be a good show. The final, depending, of course. I have a better idea of who's going to be in it than Tucker does. I still think I'm looking forward to that match. It should be a good show. I think the tag titles the junior tag titles are often defended. Of course, they could not be if Show or Yo make it to the final. I'm not sure if they're both still in contention. Definitely the day you're watching, because nobody's out yet. But yeah, I mean, I believe Yo can probably make it to the final, so maybe they won't defend the. Because B Block, ELP and Will are nice and all, but Yo is the real star of the tournament. So we laugh. In 2 years, Yo's gonna have like a breakout G1, and be the new Ace or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Shut me up. Keep calling him a jobber.
I still haven't watched him wrestle yet because he hasn't wrestled. No, I think the saddest part is he has actually faced Will, and I've seen the match, and I just don't remember it. But yeah, we might do a show next week for Best of Super Juniors, and we can talk about TakeOver on that show. But we preview TakeOver, and then the topic we're going to start with, our lead topic of the week. One of us watched the hottest new company in the US' wrestling show this week.
The pivot point in wrestling, the fuck did Meltzer call it? The greatest game-changing moment in the history of pro wrestling, or whatever he... Hold on, can I find a quote for it? No, I can't. No.
Seems like you really put in the effort there.
Well, this Wikipedia article that had the pre-show matches that I didn't bother to rate, so I can mention them briefly, because I did watch them, did not have his quote, so I kind of I gave up. You know. John Powell, though, of Canadian Online Explorers Slam Wrestling, noted that Double or Nothing proved without a doubt that AEW is the competition to WWE, the alternative to WWE, the very change the wrestling industry and wrestling fans have been waiting for, with Kenny, Cody, Adam, Nick, and Matt being the faces of the wrestling revolution some fans have been waiting for since March 26, 2001, when Monday Nitro went off the air. I'm like, oh my god. Calm down, John.
Yeah, you're supposed to be Mr. Positive.
Well, I mean, I am, but I wouldn't go that far, I don't think. You want me to just go?
Yeah, go through your show. This is your show.
Okay, so I want to start off briefly by saying I think overall the show was pretty good. You might hear me say a couple things off and on. Kind of snide remarks about certain matches. I like the majority of the matches on this card, except for like all of the pre-show, except for the opening battle royal of the pre-show. I believe was supposed to be very gimmicky, so I can't really be like, this was gimmicky or something. I hated the opener, and I'll get to the main event when I get there. So yeah, as I kind of alluded to, the kickoff to the pre-show saw the Casino Battle Royal. What is a Casino Battle Royal? Well, I'll tell you. It is... Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's 21 people in the match. There's 5 people for 4 groups, and then 1 person gets the Joker card. That Joker card is drawing the 30th spot in the Royal Rumble. You want that card. You're coming out last. So... kind of briefly running through it here. First out came the Clubs group, which had Dustin Thomas, Brandon Cutler, Sunny Days, Michael Nakazawa, and MJF. I will just say only one of those guys has a Wikipedia article. Then came in the Diamonds with Isaiah Cassidy, Jimmy Havoc.
Doesn't have a Wikipedia article, Tucker.
Who?
You.
Well,
does that mean you're not important?
Mean on a grand scale, yeah.
Does that mean you're not good at what you do?
I mean, no. But if Dustin Thomas wants to prove me wrong, he can come find me. Dustin Thomas, whoever you are.
Yeah, we know you're listening, Dustin. You're the one guy.
Dustin Thomas, you punk-ass bitch. Please don't kill me, actually. I don't know. Hold on.
Look, if we're going to have any online podcast beef, it's with Jonathan Puddle.
Well, hold on. I can... Listen, if he looks like he could kill me... Dustin Thomas! Dustin Thomas is the guy without legs! I've got this one!
Oh, well.
I've got this one, buddy.
I would now
Send
like to
in.
immediately stop the Twitter beef with the disabled wrestler.
I'm sorry, Dustin Thomas. You're very good. You literally were really fun in that match. But Brandon Cutler, you son of a bitch. Anyways, move forward. Next group is Diamonds. Comes in Isaiah Cassidy, Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela, Brian Pillman Jr., who got a really, really impressive reaction. And of course, as I called him, the and I'll let it just sink in. The the ace of tens, Sean Spears.
Oh.
Yep, I said that and I went, oh wait, no. Then came in the Hearts, which was Billy Gunn, Glacier, Jungle Boy, Mark Quinn, and Ace Romero. Finally out were the Spades, which was Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, Sunny Kiss, Tommy Dreamer, Orange Cassidy, and finally with the Joker card, Adam Page himself, the only person people paid to see. The majority of people. Not a single t-shirt in the crowd, probably, aside from an elite one. Which I guess makes sense, because they are on top. Match comes down to Luchasaurus, MJF, and Adam Page. MJF slides outside of the ring. It was at this point where I realized that Adam Page was going to throw Luchasaurus over the top rope, and then think he won. MJF was going to run in, eliminate him, but not actually eliminate him. Page then was going to actually eliminate MJF, and that exact thing fucking happened. I'm in your head, Cody. I can write for you. I'll do better than that, I promise. I've been doing this for 5 years. 5 years, 4. I've been doing this for an amount of time. Longer than you, Mr. Runnels. We use shoot names around here. Why is my time? Why is it when it's my show I just start beef with people?
Hey, I'm just gonna put it out there, Cody. I've run MSG 40 times. How's your territory doing?
Oh, got him. Anyways, Adam Page wins. He eliminates MJF, and he wins a future AEW World Championship match against the winner of Double or Nothing's main event. Will it be Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho? I assume you've already seen it, so like if you haven't,
it's definitely
probably
going to be Kenny. Like this is an alternative.
Oh, I mean, Cody's got to put all his friends over, right? Like,
well, I think Cody's friends with both guys, but I think
he's not friends with Jericho. He's booking him. He's booking him because he draws. All right, he's obviously a big draw. Chris Jericho is, right? Like,
I think Jericho would only do the show if he was friends with Cody, like he's friends with Gato.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that, because he was supposed to do TNA. They had that all lined up, and then he was like, actually, I don't want to do TNA.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, but you'd fit in there.
Yeah, no, I think they put Kenny over, because, this is an alternative, and,
you're right.
Fucking Jericho was on Twitter the other day, like, giving it the big one about Brock going over at Money in the Bank. So, I don't expect...
Well, and also, right, like, this show, right, the very big vibe coming out of this show was like, fuck these old part-time guys coming in, stealing the opportunity of young, hardworking talent.
Yeah, Jericho's like 7 years older than Brock.
Yeah, like, come on. No, but I just mean,
so Omega
there's no way.
Is definitely a good direction.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Page is competent enough that Omega can do some really fun stuff with him, hopefully. Anyways, second pre-show match. Kip Sabian beat Sammy Guevara. So the show starts.
Do you remember Josh? Do you remember that Josh from our group chat a few years ago?
I was saying this. Yeah. There's so many people banging on about Sammy Guevara. Yeah. First match I've seen from him, and I guess it. Yeah, I watched it. He, I guess, wrestled a bit. I don't know. Like
I've seen a few of his in Mexico, I think. Or at least
was he better there?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see this match, so I don't know. Maybe he was better. Maybe he was terrible in this match. But I've never got the hype. But he's one of those type of guys that I just don't get, like Switchblade and like guys like that, where it's like I just don't understand where people get the hype for her.
Yeah, watching this match, I guess it probably didn't help, right? That they were kind of just thrown onto the pre-show for some reason in like the last 15 minutes. But nobody cared. Like nobody cared. Like the crowd didn't care. I didn't care. These two like didn't really care to like win the crowd over. There were a couple fun spots. The one I'm thinking of, I think it was in this match. They did the Cedric Alexander like suplex outside of the ring, but like land on the apron thing, and then from the floor do the suplex.
Who's this Cedric Alexander you speak of?
I mean, what's a WWE, right? Because we're alternative, and there are no references to WWE on this show at all.
Also, fuck Bailey, am I right?
Yes. Immediately, Cody Rhodes takes shots at WWE. He says, we're going to round up our attendance numbers because that's what you do. And they claim that the attendance of like 13,000 people is like 20,000 or something like that. I thought it was actually kind of amusing, but not a good sign, I think, when before the show has even started, the biggest pop of the pre-show for me was you making a joke about a thing another company's doing. So the show starts, and out comes my most loathed act in pro wrestling currently, aside from Chris Jericho and like most of the modern Bullet Club, and like
I think Bullet Club's turning a corner.
I think they've got good workers in there, but they're not like
they recently got rid of
Skrull spots.
They got what's the name?
Oh no, Villain Enterprises.
Yeah, they've got like so now they've got Kanemaru still, who is impressing me. They've got Taiji. They've got Phantasmo, which some people are gonna like, I guess. I don't know who their heavyweights are these days. Is it still Tangaloa and Tama?
I was gonna say it's still Tama, Fale, and Jay White. I think. I do know they have like 7 juniors though now for some reason. Like I'm like, why do you need so many juniors?
Well, LAJ also have 50 million juniors because they all keep getting injured. It's like, oh, we like Bushi. Yeah, we don't like Bushi anymore. Hiromu. Oh, he's injured. We'll get Shingo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things wrong in pro wrestling.
But we don't talk about New Japan because that's not the new alternative.
That's later. That's later, buddy. Keep it for later. Sorry. Save it. Internalize it. Internalize the pain.
Internalize the pain.
Push it down. It's okay. Look, Okada's got balloons.
I don't think you ever actually said what your most hated act in current wrestling was, which is the guy who came out.
Yes, because it's not a guy.
Oh.
It's 3 of them.
Oh. Is it Heat Squad?
No, it's not. I love them. They're amazing.
We gotta love Heat Squad.
But, Putty, did you know that Las Vegas, this is the worst town I have ever been in?
Have you seen my gun?
I hate SoCal Uncensored. I hate them. They suck.
Who are they?
Chris Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. I hate all 3 of them now with a burning passion. Mostly Scorpio Sky, though. I blame him for everything that's happened to Chris Daniels, even though he's 50.
I didn't know Chris Daniels was still wrestling.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't. He's been in Ring of Honor, I think. I don't know where the fuck Kaz has been. He fucking disappeared and then just kind of showed back up and was like, we're doing SoCal now. And it was like, oh, okay.
If anybody on the indie wrestling scene disappears and then just shows up, 9 out of 10 times they've been in jail.
Wait, that's a joke? For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Really? Is my legal department contacting you now?
No, but Frankie Kaz's is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm
not even going to mention MVP. Nick Gage can stay the fuck away.
God damn it. They face off against the Strong Hearts, or just Strong Hearts, which is butcher this name because I didn't hear his name. Is it Seema? They say Seema?
I think
is that how they pronounce Seema? I don't know.
Right.
T-Hawk and El Linda Man. I wish his name wasn't El Linda Man, but it's awesome. So they're all guys from Seema's the booker of OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, which is not Vince McMahon's really racist attempt to start up a company.
Are you sure?
They're coming from that Oriental Wrestling Entertainment. Anyways,
I'm still half convinced this whole AEW thing is a Vince project.
you seen that Russo is tweeting out about that? He's
Oh,
like, they're in.
Never mind.
Russo's like,
never mind. I take
Russo's
it all
like,
back.
they're in fucking cahoots.
I want my name off of that theory now. Not even as a joke. I'm done. Nope.
He's like, they let Moxley walk in order to let AEW take him so they could, like, revive the industry for them and then they could start booking well or something. And I'm like, what the fuck, Russo? Like, why are you doing this? Just stop. The match attempted to be, I've seen people online attempt to describe it as a mid-2000s TNA-esque opener with a lot of little guys flying around, doing big moves. I'm sorry, what the fuck match are you guys watching? Chris Daniels is 50, Frankie Kaz is 47, Cena is 41. Okay, he's not that old compared to those two. Scorpio Sky is 36. He's actually young. And I think T-Hawk and El Lindaman are fairly young.
They have Wikipedia.
I'm going to check that really quick. 29. And El Lindaman is 24. So El Lindaman is the future. He's the future of Oriental wrestling entertainment.
I mean, he's traveled the Orients, like a friend of mine.
When I was watching this match, I definitely thought that T-Hawk and El Lindaman were the best parts. That's, I guess, makes sense. They're two kind of fast guys where I could see people starting to think like, oh, this is what this is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to get the crowd hot. But when on the other end, you've got Scorpio Sky, who is not very good at like anything. Chris Daniels, who is 50. Frankie Kazarian, who is he 47? I'm pretty sure. He's 41? Kaz, what the fuck?
He's been to
what
jail
the hell?
a lot.
Okay, yeah, Daniels is 50. Okay, thank God. I was like, he's 50.
Well, he's 49.
Well, we round up in pro wrestling.
Sure.
Yeah, Cody said it, so it must be true, right? This match fucking dragged for the entire 14 minutes it was on. I thought it was continuing the trend of this show being super fucking weak, and I was dreading for the rest of it. Because SoCal Uncensored is like a name act in this company. Like, this is like, they're on the YouTube shows, people know their catchphrase, they say it alongside Scorpio Sky when, kid you not, he says, "This is the worst town I have ever been in."
You know what just hit me looking at this card? Is how much it looks like a Hollywood Championship Wrestling card from fucking TW. Hollywood Grappling Company or whatever it is.
The company that just signs up all the kind of well-known indie people who just are around.
No, you see half of the indie people that are really good, and then the really old people that used to be in like the 3 mainstream feds.
Yeah, no, that's accurate. Moving on, our fourth match is a triple threat match. It's Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray, and all of a sudden, Brandy Rhodes comes out and says she wants to make this match awesome.
Is it the Miz?
I wanted it to be the Miz. I wanted him to just come out and just start beating people up.
Maurice is in the match, accompanied by her husband.
I kind of thought it was going to be her for like 3 seconds. I was like, isn't she pregnant? I'm like, can they just do that? Is that not a danger? No. Much worse. It's Awesome Kong at the age of
people popped
41.
at Awesome Kong on Le Twitter.
What's that?
People popped at Awesome Kong.
I popped for Awesome Kong, but only because, you know, it was Awesome Kong and then she wrestled and I went, oh no, you're old. Oh. I actually like this match. I thought Kong moved pretty great for her age. I think Britt Baker is nothing.
Okay.
Nyla Rose is a big wrestler. She's a bigger woman, not like as big as Awesome Kong or anything. But I thought that's kind of the role she'd play in this, and now we basically have two. We have Awesome Kong and a slightly smaller Awesome Kong, both roaming around.
Can I mention something real quick? Completely, like, not completely off topic, but like slightly. as I was thinking, oh, it's the wrong Kong. I would have much preferred to see Aja Kong. And I look further down the card, and I'm like, oh, it's Aja Kong.
Yeah. Kong Mania. Yeah, I think Britt Baker is just totally just whatever. I think she only gets booked on these things because of who she's dating.
And who would that be? Also, that's pretty sexist. Go on.
But I mean, I don't say the same thing when I don't know. I was trying to think of Mike Kanellis. Like, come on.
Fair.
Kanellis only gets fucking booked because Kanellis. Wait, hold on. That's not how that works. Bennett only gets booked because Kanellis. See? Go the other way. Kylie Ray, who looks like...
People are into her.
What kind of in?
Like they think she's good.
Like, yeah, I mean, she was the best in this match, I guess. I mean, Awesome Kong was pretty fucking impressive, but I was more or less like, you can still move your legs? What the fuck? Kylie Ray did fine. She very much looks like Bailey's 40-year-old mom. Like 40, she's like a 44-year-old Bailey who's like trying to be cool, but isn't really. She's like, she does the same gimmick. She's smiley Kylie. I think I don't know what the best way to say this is, but I think not only is she like half Bailey, but I think her character is supposed to be a little bit like slow. So no, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
My legal team is getting in contact.
They had Putty's favorite women's wrestler of all time on commentary. Can you guess who that would be?
Akira Hokuto? Is she still alive?
Very, very close. Cherry Bomb.
I do like Cherry Bomb.
Your favorite for other reasons.
Yeah, I like Akira more because of the deathmatch stuff, and for Cherry Bomb, I'm more technical lucha wrestler.
Yes, obviously. Yeah, Britt Baker wins.
Famous manager of the Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers. Yeah, Britt Baker wins this. I don't know why.
What's the gimmick with all the titles?
What do you mean, all the titles?
On the Wikipedia, she's listed as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Yeah, she's for some reason taken the new generation approach of, I actually have a dental degree.
She's a dental. Okay.
She literally was going to be a dentist until I think she started dating Adam Cole, and he was like, just do wrestling.
Baby.
Or no. I think when did she start dating Adam Cole? I don't know, but she might have already been in wrestling. That would be sexist on my part to assume so. But it doesn't matter because she's garbage anyways. Moving forward, we have the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, taking on Helico and Jack Evans. Holy shit. I didn't know that these two were even going to be on this show. I don't know how both of them look as young as they do. I mean, Angelico's only 32, but isn't Jack Evans like 30 and he looks like he's 17?
Hey, Jack Evans is the future of AEW.
Oh, he's 37, but he does look like he's 17. So, I thought that this match was actually a fair amount of fun. I ended up...
Hold on a second, you're breaking up a little bit. I'm going to switch the server location.
Sure.
Which I forget how to do. Wait a minute. Server settings? Yeah. We're already in US East.
I might have just been away from my microphone.
Yeah, alright, let's keep going.
We'll keep it going. Yeah, I thought this match was really good. I think that it was so good that when the match ended, I actually said to myself, that's fucking like Trent Beretta, the guy who used to be fucking jobbing in WWE. Like, of course, I had known that. I didn't just realize that after the match or something.
Trent Beretta's had some pretty decent years in the last couple.
Yeah, man, but it really only hit me here when, like, Tim and Chuck did such a good fucking job with Angelico and Evans. Like, it was such a fun match. It only went about 12 and a half minutes, so it wasn't too long. It was, like, the perfect thing that I expect from these guys. And it just made me realize that, like, I can't believe that guy was, like, a main event jobber. And that's not main event as in, like, the position. That's main event as in the show, which I don't think existed. He would have been a superstar's jobber.
Good old Velocity.
Good old Velocity. Really, I think a really fun tag team match overall. Thumbs up on that one. I don't even have anything to like diss about it.
Future of AEW in that match.
Send out the Joshi. I don't know the fuck to pronounce it. Send them out. We've got Hikaru Shida, Riho Abe, and Ryo Mizunami, who apparently does not exist according to Wikipedia, against Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura.
Your thoughts?
Despite the fact I knew two of these people, this was really good. It was a back-to-back kind of situation. Actually, 3 times in a row, I thought, where my expectations were, like, destroyed. Like, wow, these guys did these girls, they did very well, for what I was expecting. Aja Kong, obviously, was, not great, as she is 48. Why are there so many old people on this show, Cody? What about the new era of wrestling, huh? I liked it. I don't know what more to say. Sheeta's fucking great. There was, I think it's Sakazaki has like some weird gimmick where she's like a magical princess or something. Like, I mean, that's all like Japanese women's wrestlers mostly, but like her specifically, they called her like I don't remember what the fuck they called her. They called her like a magical princess or something, and I was like, what?
Are you sure they didn't call her the Tokyo Princess Tag Team Champion?
No, they did not. I'm on the Wikipedia article. They did not call her that. She didn't have the belts, I don't think. At least I didn't notice the belts.
As a tag team champion, unless you're Kane, you don't tend to have both.
Actually makes sense, noting here that she went to a training school for comedy, which actually would kind of make sense with the character she kind of was playing. A lot of spots where she would like square up somebody and then go, oh, wait, fuck, I'm not very good at the whole pro wrestling thing. And then would tag in Aja Kong. So it was kind of a fun little dynamic there. I think...
What about the promotion she comes from, which I do know, which is Tokyo Joshi Pro. They do a super show every year around like the start of January, and the last few years it's been up on the DDT streaming service, and it gets super rave reviews every year.
I was gonna say this is I was gonna say that's DDT's kind of women affiliate promotion.
They're greener than fucking Stardom, but like that Joshi Green is really weird because they hit fucking hard. Like, you look at
belt people.
Yeah, green Joshi workers work in a certain way, and if you're into that style, that's the fucking fastest and hardest wrestling in the world, I'd say. As someone who watches a lot of green Joshi over the last couple of years. I'm gonna move on. So this is really interesting. It's Cody versus Dustin Rhodes. Am I a hypocrite if I say that this completely shattered my expectations and has gained, truthfully, like, I think my entire thoughts, like, around this guy have completely changed. And it's so weird, like, in wrestling, I think, when
you have one match you can point to and say, holy fuck, maybe that guy's actually good. And, ever since he kind of, came back or whatever and started, I don't want to say wrestling properly, but, since he's come back or whatever, and he's kind of been all around the world, I kind of wrote him off, I think, after the first couple matches, especially after the first little bit, the first kind of run or so. But holy fuck, at age 50, Dustin Rhodes is really good at pro wrestling sometimes. He and Cody put on this very sports-enty match where it's a lot of callbacks to, like, Dusty. They try to hit all of their big, kind of well-known moves that both of them do. I thought as, like, a send-off to Dustin, it was really well done, really quite phenomenal. I wish he'd unblock me on Twitter.
Who's blocked you on Twitter?
Dustin has, yeah.
I think he blocks a lot of people.
If you tweet anything involving his Black Rain run in TNA, he blocked you. So
he just wants to forget about it, man.
He does. Like, just keep bringing it up. Never let him forget, because there's going to come a point where he's going to look back at that and say, maybe that wasn't that bad. And that's the day he knows he should probably just give up. No, I think that had some fun ideas. But anyways, there was a lot of blood in this match, like a shocking amount. Like Dustin, I think, I thought at one point they were going to have to stop the match, where the big appeal of the match was, holy shit, there's blood. I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but he bled like a motherfucker, and it was really gross, actually. Which is weird, because I've seen a lot more intense wrestling, a lot more harder stuff, I guess to say, over the past couple of years as I've kind of expanded in wrestling. But yeah, it was really just shocking, I think. They do kind of just a fun kind of sports scent throwback kind of match. Plenty of, I think I already mentioned, plenty of references to Dusty. And yeah, as Dustin Rhodes' retirement match, it was probably everything I could expect from him at his age and his caliber of opponent.
You said that twice now, and I wonder whether you're setting up for a meme.
And then Cody afterwards grabs the microphone and says, "You're not going to retire here. You don't get that. You're going to keep wrestling with me in AEW." And the wrestlers looking on, who are young and they just want the Attitude Era people to go away and get their spots, rejoice as that young up-and-comer Dustin Rhodes is going to keep on trucking down that road.
So, counterpoint, I know you've probably forgotten by now, but these two are fire as a tag team.
Yeah, but Dustin wasn't 50. But shit, Dustin wasn't 50 when he didn't not have this match. Wait, what?
Yeah, their match that they had after they were a tag team was terrible. So if this was good, then imagine what the tag team stuff would be like.
That was at what, Rumble 2015?
I think, didn't they have it on a TV show? Or at least
no, it was at the Rumble, and it went 5 minutes. And Dustin just kind of beat him, and that was it. And it was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I shockingly really liked this match, which is weird, because I expected to fucking hate it. I mean, who wouldn't? Moving on. For the AAA World Tag Team Championships, it's the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. This match has absolutely no business going 25 minutes.
But it's a Young Bucks match. How else were they going to fit all their flips in?
It's not just that. They spend the majority of the match hitting other tag teams' tag finishers because they're paying tribute to the history of tag team wrestling or something. JR says on commentary, half fucking conscious.
Haven't you ever seen a Young Bucks match before?
Yeah, but not to this effect, because most of the time,
Fastlane 2015, by the way, was the pay-per-view.
Gato, when booking, will be like, no, don't stop. Go home, and he'll
No, they wouldn't. This is the same tag team that had a 30-minute fucking Tokyo Dome opener.
You're right. I don't know why the fuck I expect anything less. Maybe because I think there's I think there's going to be a point where the Young Bucks realize, shit, we work best in like 10-minute, 12-minute sprints where we just fucking hit a whole bunch of spots really fast and it's awesome.
They don't, though. Those are good, but they actually work best when they've got an insanely deep storytelling tag team on the other side for them. Their 2 best matches ever had nothing to do with them. It was World's Cutest Tag Team and Golden Lovers on the other side. And they were amazing. And they were better than any other tag team match anyone could have had with anyone other than the Young Bucks. But it's never about the Young Bucks. So they do work best in those 30-minute matches. They just need the fucking World's Cutest Tag Team or Golden Lovers level tag teams on the other side.
And not the Lucha Brothers fighting them.
I love Samurai Del Sol as much as the next guy. It's not going to happen again.
No,
I actually really like those two. Well, I like Phoenix. I don't really.
I like Phoenix as a wrestler. I think Pentagon is cool as an idea. Listen, when Pentagon 3 shows up, maybe he'll be a great wrestler and bring the whole thing together. It'll be awesome.
I'm waiting on Pentagon 4.
Pentagon 4, so he can wrestle till he's like 50 and never pass on the mask.
And then we're looking for Black Pentagon.
Oh yeah, Black wasn't Pentagon is just Black Octagon, so could he be White Pentagon?
No, we need Yellow Pentagon.
Oh shit, we need to branch out into different shades. Gray Pentagon.
And then it becomes like a fire ant stable.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I thought this match was fine. I ended up deciding I liked it in terms of ratings. But I think it suffered from lack of any attempt to do anything psychology-wise. And I get that, you know, when you watch a Young Bucks match, throw the fucking book out the window, we're gonna hit like 90 fucking super kicks. And if you don't like that, you can just fucking die.
You can go watch an Adam Cole match instead.
Yeah, that way he can hit 50 and you'll be okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
But geez, these guys just hit random big spots all the time. Like, it's just, they hit like 5 tag finishers in a row, and then Pentagon just kicks out, and I'm like, what? Like, why? Why are we still doing this? I hit a point, I would say about 15 minutes where I went, okay, this should be ramping up now. I hit a point about 20 minutes where I said, wow, this really should be ending. And by 25 minutes, I was like, oh shit, it's over? Oh god, I thought it would end. I guess it was fine. I don't know why the fuck the Bucks won and retained the AAA World Tag Team titles. It's AAA.
Well, it's worth mentioning. I mean, I don't really know, but I'm pretty sure Phoenix and Pentagon are contracted to CMLL. I know Phoenix is.
I think the Young Bucks won the belts, though, off of the Lucha Brothers.
They did? What is going on in Mexico?
I am, like, 99% sure of that. Okay, is there any way for me to confirm this? Yeah, they did, yeah.
At a CML, at an AAA show?
Yes, at a AAA show.
What the fuck is going on in Mexico?
You know, Lucha thing. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other Phoenix. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other Ray. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other Kalisto. Are we ready to move on to the big,
it's your show, bro.
Bad... What's that?
It's your show. If you want to move on, you move on.
Big bad baby of them all. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Me and you had a conversation the other day, and it kind of made me reevaluate what I thought on Kenny Omega. Because I thought for the longest time that Kenny Omega was a guy who did these really long matches, and this does go fairly long, 27 minutes. I mean, it's nothing for Kenny Omega, the master of the 40-minute kerfuffle. But I had for the longest time believed that you could watch the last 10 minutes of any Kenny Omega match and get all the same value you would out of the first 30. No questions asked, absolutely no exceptions. And and then you prove me wrong, or so you prove me right, but you proved my reasoning wrong, because I assumed that Kenny worked these slow prodding first couple 30 minutes in an attempt to all of a sudden, when holy shit, he's hitting his 7 fucking V triggers, make it really exciting. But Putty had a different view. I will say the correct view, as I've learned watching this match. Kenny Omega just is always like going for the finish, if that makes any sense. As in, he is never not doing a big spot, which in a pro wrestling match that's supposed to go 40, 30 minutes, whatever, that's tiring. I'm not gonna lie. To keep yourself on that, holy shit, oh my god, what is he? Oh, wow. He's jumped out of a balcony. He's jumped off a plane. They're fighting in the sewer now, and there's a big rat that's biting one of them or something.
If that was actually happening, that would be dope.
Yeah, it would be. I'd freak out. That'd be like the greatest thing ever. Listen, Vince, I've got 24/7 title ideas. Hit me up. I mean, who is Vince, on right? They're the alternative, because they're cool. So Chris Jericho wins this match. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. They seem to believe that Chris Jericho is like... Of course, I mean, now I'm thinking about it, it does make total sense. As Chris Jericho, of course, is the name that people are watching AEW for, right? Like,
I think it also makes sense thematically. And we memed about it a lot, and I do think it's memeable for sure. But like, Chris Jericho is, in a person, the whole misplaced alternative idea, I think, in wrestling. Like, if you look throughout the last, 20, 30 years, and people are like, oh, that's what the good wrestling spark in mainstream is. I think it's Chris Jericho, right? That group, that audience of people. Like, they all are so into Chris Jericho. And even though he's old, he represents, that idea, I think, for people.
Chris Jericho is an idea. And once he retires, somebody else will take that idea.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's probably going to be one of the indie
It'll
guys
be
that
Ziggler.
made it.
Ziggler, I'm sure,
right?
So. The whole, he's so good, but he's being misused. He's never been allowed to do a proper run. But he actually did, and when they did, it's because he kind of fucking sucked. Like,
I don't think enough people unironically like him.
That's fair. I don't think anybody cares about him anymore.
It's got to be one of the indie guys that made it in the WWE and didn't fuck off. As far my first thought was Rollins. It's probably Rollins.
Well, I think it probably depends how these next couple years play out. Because I mean,
right now it's Ambrose.
Yes, of course. Because, and especially since they've put a lot of stuff behind Seth right now or whatever, right? He's the Beast Slayer. He's Monday Night Rollins or whatever the hell they went with.
Jericho, man, with the Undisputed Champion.
Oh my god, almost literally. Raw is Jericho, Monday Night Rollins. Oh no. He is snake bit. It's over for him, folks. I actually really do appreciate that bit there, because that actually makes total sense to me, because Chris Jericho, I think, is that guy that I think a lot of mainstream people, but not mainstream people, I don't know, people looking for alternatives to the WWE,
He's who are missing a TNA run.
Yeah, who are so very adamant that he would be the biggest thing in wrestling, but he's been misused. Which, I mean, I don't know if I can name, and of course this is with kind of stuff that I've seen, and I think that Jericho's best entertainment based stuff was in WCW. I don't know if
I'm still really partial to the Mysterio feud, late 2000s.
Ooh, totally just forgot about that. I'm gonna shut up and not even say the point I was gonna say.
Oh no, say it.
No, I'm not gonna make an ass of myself. Anyways, so I think Jericho for a very long time though has not been the best at most things.
Also, how can we forget the Mitch feud with Dean Ambrose?
Oof. Oh god. The Jericho's Asylum match
with the potted plant.
No. There are moments like that when you like unlock a part of my brain to something that like I genuinely think I like totally closed off. Like, you know, I repressed those experiences.
I've added that now to your Hall of Fame nightmare because you now know he'll be on stage with the potted plant.
Oh my god, he will, because he's gonna come out with his list. He's gonna come out with like probably some kind of bottle that says like Jericho Hall on it. He'll come out with his list of 1,000 moves.
He'll have a Titantron that he'll throw someone into or get thrown into, like a little Titantron.
If he doesn't have, I don't know if he's alive or not, but his fucking hype man from WCW, you know what I'm talking about though?
No, I don't.
He's like he was like a plumber or something like that they just picked up. He was kind of the Jericho security. That guy. I can't think of his name. I don't know if he's alive, which is unfortunate. Hold on here. Oh, come on.
Tyson Tomko Sr.
Why can I not figure out who this man is? Jericho security. He was fucking. Come on, me. Come on. I want to say his name was like Lewis, but it's not. Do you know at least what I'm talking about? Because I need to make this point.
I don't, because I'm not that like I haven't watched like a lot of WCW over and over again, so I don't. But you can still make the point. I'm sure people listening do.
Ralphus! Fuck! Ralphus, he's like just some like fucking fat guy they just grabbed like out of backstage or something like that. He was like a janitor or something, and they hired him to like hang out with Jericho and be his security. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he's gonna be there. You're right, Mitch the potted plant has to be there. I'm trying to think of other really garbage things he's got to bring out. Oh, he's got to get thrown into a garbage truck. I don't know why the hell a trash
vehicle, yeah, like a Ford.
Chris Jericho is the trash vehicle, just FYI. He's moving garbage. Anyways, this match. Fuck you, Chris Jericho, you old fucker. Stop pro wrestling, please. This entire match, of course, it's Kenny selling, because I think they full on both realize, oh my god, Jericho cannot like sell anything, or he refuses to, or something. I don't even know. But obviously Kenny is the younger, better worker, so he's going to be selling the majority of the time. Back to my original point or whatever about Kenny doing 1,000 things in like 3 seconds. First 5 minutes, he does a fucking suicide dive through a table. It's like 5 to 10 minutes into this match, and it goes like 30 minutes. Have you seen Jericho's finisher? I assume you don't watch Chris Jericho matches.
Isn't it like, I don't watch Chris Jericho matches, but I hear memes about it. Is it like a back elbow?
It's just a back elbow. Yeah. That's it. He just elbows you. I literally had no idea what the fuck was happening. He elbowed him, and then Jericho on commentary is like, "Oh, by God, it's the Judas effect." And I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean, Judas?" He won. What the? He won with. I literally rewinded in case I like missed something. I'm like, "Do you have like a weapon or something like that? Like, what the fuck happened?" And he just elbowed him.
Hey, I like a good old strike finish. I'll take it.
No, not this one. It looks fucking shit.
So it's not quite woman's right level of good.
No. Unfortunately, he is no Lacey Evans.
You know what's crazy about Chris Jericho? And look, we're gonna get blocked on Twitter because even though nobody watches the show, he'll still somehow find it. But because he validly searches YouTube, apparently, I think.
Does he? Oh my God,
probably. But
seems like a thing he'd do.
It's so weird to think about how it doesn't feel like that long ago that he was having matches with AJ Styles, and like we saw the moment that he began terminal decline in TW terms. It was like the second match in that series, and you could just feel how different it was. And like he's still wrestling, and it feels like he's just declined.
a reminder, it was so bad that I think the general opinion was, oh, fuck, AJ's done, isn't he?
Yep.
Huh. Like, wow, I guess we had a lot of great years with them, but fuck, man, really wish we could have seen, like, peak AJ Styles in the WWE, and then AJ, like, immediately was like, no, guys, no, wait, it's not me, I'm good, and everybody's like, oh, he's good, never mind.
Not only that, he wasn't getting over. Like, imagine how AJ Styles is so over now in WWE, and he wasn't getting over at all in those Jericho feuds, and it was like, wow, this just isn't working. And then Roman Reigns.
What is it with Vince McMahon immediately putting people who he thinks somewhat highly of, I assume? I mean, he let AJ have, like, a run with the belt. What is up with him immediately throwing him with, like, the worst possible opponent? Like,
because he doesn't think they are, and a lot of people don't think they are. Just
like,
with Orton. I think you were thinking of Orton and Reigns as well.
Yes, yeah. Reigns, Orton.
And God knows how many people got thrown with Triple H really early on in the 2000s. But, like, yeah. Because he doesn't think they're right. He thinks they're safe. But, like, new stars don't need safety. They need something fiery.
I was going to say, I'm like, do you want me to just say it, that safe is boring? Like, do something fun or interesting. Like, if you're not going to have great matches with somebody, because maybe the chemistry's off or something like that, at least have them be a fun character. To where, you know, I want to see what they do on Raw every week, if I don't care about them on the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like I watch Raw. Anyways, back to this match, I guess. Kenny Omega tries his damnedest. Chris Jericho, it's not very good. One moment sticks out to me. Kenny attempts to lift Chris Jericho up for the one-winged angel, and Jericho, like, just can't get up. Like, he just, like, like, I don't know if he's the greatest seller of all time, or if he's literally just, 25 minutes into, like, a 30-minute long match, and he's like, help, I need life alert, I need my oxygen machine right the fuck now, I'm dying live. But this match was not good. And I'm sorry, I think, to Kenny Omega, because I think I was more so worried that it was Omega with Jericho, when sitting down and watching the match, I can see Kenny's trying. He's trying his damnedest, but just, you can't do much. Like, you couldn't wrestle a match against, like, I don't know, a blow-up doll or something and make it worth watching, right? So, like, let alone Chris Jericho, my God.
I appreciate that. I like the... One thing I will say is that I do think there is something to be said that, yes, Jericho is awful, but also Kenny does only work one match, and it's go, 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 go. Full speed at all times, and which it's just never going to work with Jericho. And, like, you
I was going to say, which probably doesn't help 48-year-old Chris Jericho.
I think if you, these days, I bet if you do another match between AJ Styles and Chris Jericho these days, or maybe Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho, it works, because, Jericho can probably do some mat stuff for, like, 15 minutes and then do a sprint at the end. But...
yeah, like, no, like, I was thinking about it, and, like, I was like, AJ, I was like, yeah, probably. Moment you said, like, DBD, though, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, Brian, fucking 5 stars with Chris Jericho. 100 stars.
100 stars.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Tell the people, was Double or Nothing worth $50? Would you pay $50?
Well, hold on. There's one more thing to talk about.
Oh, of course.
Because Chris Jericho gets on the mic and says, I want you to thank me. I built AEW. And then, I can't believe he did it. Like, okay, I don't not like Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, right? But Jesus Christ, like, he comes out and he's in a fucking jean jacket with jeans, coming out of the crowd, walking through. I'm like, so he's Scott Hall, is he? Is this the gimmick? Is this the idea? I guess not. He just happened to be dressed like Scott Hall. I'm like, oh, okay. He gets in the ring, actually decent moment from Jericho. Jericho looks at him. He's like, "What the hell are you doing here?
What are you doing here?"
He says, "You don't work here. Leave." I don't know why I found that so funny. And then he just beats up everybody. He beats up the ref. He beats up Omega. He DDTs Omega on the big chips. They just had a thing of chips. I don't know why. Not a thing of crisps.
Yeah, I get it.
Or fries. Thing of poker
Casino
chips.
Yeah. Because it's double or nothing. You get it? Chips.
And that's your show. We end with Chris Jericho winning and the biggest star in the company, Kenny Omega, flat on his ass.
Well, the biggest star in the company,
out.
Jon Moxley, apparently. I gotta say, even for me, and I am not the audience at all. They're promoters of the year, Country Mile. If they got this hype out of fucking Dean fucking Ambrose, I gotta say, oof. Speaking of Dean Ambrose, that wasn't the only place Dean Ambrose debuted this week.
I cannot wait.
I find it relevant. Look at my 2 most recent retweets.
Oh, did you send them to me?
Yeah, I sent you my Twitter. So just look at my 2 most recent retweets. One I just think you'll enjoy, and the other one is relevant to the discussion.
I think I know. Oh no. Yes. First of all, amazing.
Yeah.
The second one, I did see that one. I saw that last night. What do you got there? I have a knife. No!
Oh, not a knife! Why does everyone in New Japan have knives these days? Is it their crunching social commentary on knife crime?
No, it's because, Putty, it feels like the pro wrestling industry needs to stab out against the WWE and being suffocated by the dying ratings or something. I don't fuck it. They're fucking bankrupt. Fucking creatively, they held the belt on Okada for 2 fucking years. Mostly because they failed to get anybody else over, and then when they kind of almost did, they just had him lose anyways. Fuck you,
so Tucker,
Gato.
Tucker, was Double or Nothing worth $50?
$50? Certainly not. No. But worth a gander if you could find it somewhere for no money, because support pro wrestling.
We do not promote pro wrestling piracy on this show, friend.
Pro wrestling piracy. Yeah, that's not a thing anybody does here. Not at all.
Shakes head.
They're discriminating against poor people.
So if you're going to take that $50 you spent on AEW and instead spend it on 5 different wrestling...
so the $50 I theoretically spent on AEW.
That you actually spent on
right,
AEW,
I actually.
yeah.
Sorry, Cody. Cody, please.
Which 5 over-the-top wrestling services would you spend that $50 on?
I don't know what companies are part of over-the-top. Hold on.
Not over-the-top just means Netflix style.
Oh, I thought that was a network.
No, OTT is a wrestling company. It's from Ireland. They're only one. Anyway, I meant Netflix style.
If you weren't already paying for it, of course, the WWE Network. Tons of old stuff.
Would you pick that this month?
Stuff. This month? Specifically this month,
yeah,
no.
Specifically.
But I think that there's... Ooh, it depends on how... Oh, the NXT show is technically next month. So, this month, no. I guess you're right.
Let's say the next 30 days. You can include the NXT show.
Within the next 30 days, possibly, because I think that there's a decent chance that... I haven't looked at the card yet, but there's a decent chance that on the NXT show, you find something you like. They have, NXT is kind of great at that. They kind of have very few matches, but still somehow manage to cater to, I think, most audiences. Aside from, the main events, which I think cater to, one person, and it's just Shawn Michaels.
No, dude, people love those main events. Go on now.
I know, but they're just designed to cater to him. They just happen to cater to other people. I wonder if that's how NXT started now, actually. Sean was just like, Paul, I need wrestling to watch. And then he's just like, I will book an entire company around how you work. He's like, that's fucking great. I've watched all my matches 20 times anyways. They're starting to get kind of boring. I gotta go shoot a duck or something.
Do you have any other services to recommend, or is it just WWE Network?
No, New Japan World, of course. Best of Super Juniors this month. It's been a lot of fun. We'll get into that, of course, more in a moment. Other stuff coming up if you're interested in it.
Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion. I knew about that.
Second biggest show of the year for them.
Aside from that, I can't name anything you should expressly watch, and that's interesting because I feel like this is my most diverse year in terms of watching wrestling. Like I watched fucking Rev Pro live at the Cockpit 37. Like
Oh my god, you watched the New Japan affiliate? How indie of you.
I'm so cool, guys. I didn't say that, thank you. I said this is my most broad year. I don't know. Probably don't spend $50 on this. There's no reason to. You're just getting WWE, but with some Japanese people. I guess no, they have Japanese people. You're getting WWE with some really fucking old people that the Big Show Kane hole has been filled in your life. If it hasn't, you do watch this show. Actually, you're gonna need to fill that hole.
I definitely think this is my most broad year. I watched NXT UK this year.
Whoa. Ladder match.
Match. Alright, we're done with AEW. Don't spend $50 on a fucking pay-per-view in 2019.
Fuck them.
We're going to be talking about AEW for the next 10 years. So we'll have plenty.
It's so weird, man. WCW keeps reviving itself, and the second version hasn't even died yet. It's awesome.
They're never dying. They've been literally TNA. I saw a post the other day saying TNA gets such bad press, and I thought to myself, they were literally run by Nazis. They became a Ponzi gold selling scheme, and they went into bankruptcy twice. What is bad press for a company? Anyway, regardless.
What does Jay White have to do in order to get people to respect him? It's I don't know, fucking wrestle good.
So
that was I thought that was a joke with you. I guess not.
Jay White? Knife pervert? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, there was a tweet where somebody was like, Jay White is so good, what do people need to see from him now? I'm like, I don't know, he could fucking wrestle decent. The fuck? He could be interesting. He could cut promo good.
I think you're confusing me with one of you other wrestling people.
That's fair. I think that tweet might be from one of them, actually. Fuck you, whoever said that. I think it might be somebody in TW, actually. Uh-oh.
People who are in TW, as in the game.
Yes, inside the game. No.
So Tommy Cornell is tweeting about Jay White.
Tommy Cornell is leave Jay White alone.
So we're done with AEW. We're going to be talking about it for
thank God.
years. We'll have plenty of time to discuss what we like about it, what we don't like about it. I might eventually start watching it if they stop charging $50 for a fucking pay-per-view. But we've watched other wrestling this week. This week, I promise. We've both been watching Best of Super Juniors. So where do you want to start? You want to start with day one?
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay. I got notes for the first couple days.
I have no notes. I have the matches and the numbers.
All right, so let's start with the very interesting Taka Michinoku against Tiger Mask. What did you think?
Taka is shockingly still good.
He's okay.
Tiger Mask, he's not.
So now that we got context on this, I actually think Tiger Mask has had a better tournament.
You what?
I think Tiger Mask has had a better tournament than Taka.
Dear God.
So first of all, I'm going to make 2 points about these guys that aren't totally relevant to this match, because this match wasn't very good. Taka's body is made of paper. And this first match, you're right. He was like, oh, he's doing some clever stuff. He's smart. His technical wrestling's pretty cool. Day 2, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And by day 6, when he's wrestling Shingo on day 9, and he's doing really good stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, he's back again doing clever psychology stuff. 2 minutes into the match, he breaks his ankle.
I was gonna say, I'm like, do you know that he, he's out now or whatever?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
Which, since I was listening to you say that or whatever, I was like, he definitely has looked more and more fatigued as it's gone on, which, it's just great selling. That's all it is. It's selling.
The funny thing is, Tiger Mask started the tournament injured. He went into this taco match with an injured knee. He looks better every night. He's just getting better and better. He has a match with Show later on, which is actually really fucking good. Tiger Mask, he's actually a decent flyer, and he's pretty good on the mat. He just, he can't do it in long bursts. He needs, he needs time.
The master of the 3-minute match, Tiger Mask.
Yeah, and, also another thing, regardless of the wrestling, now that he's got the old Tiger Mask theme back, because he used to have this weird theme for a couple of years, it's that nostalgia hit that you needed now that you don't get to hear the Jushin Liger theme every other night in Best of the Super Juniors. So, because it's the old school Tiger Mask theme is awesome. So I was with you on this match. There was some. It was a kind of a technical match with a lot of juniors offense to pop some. This was a very old school Best of the Super Juniors match. Some technical stuff, occasional rudimentary flying, and I was like, yeah, Taka could go on to have a good tournament. Tiger Mask looks awful as usual, but I genuinely think Tiger Mask went on to have a better tournament.
I think Taka. I think the first thing that I noted, kind of remembering this match a little bit, talk about it. Taka works exactly how I'd expect him to work as kind of his character and within his actual limits or whatever. Technical, kind of slower style, but he's cunning, right? That's the whole idea behind him. He's a submission expert who knows how to cheat and will. And it makes total sense for a guy who's, older and, might be injury prone or something. I don't know.
Poor fucking Taka. This tournament's so sad.
It is. It is sad.
Yeah, so next we had... So what rating did you give that match? You're the ratings guy.
I end up giving that a 1.5.
Hey, nice. We're exactly the same.
Awesome.
So, Titan and
Yoshinobu
Kanemaru. So this was my worst match of the first night. However, I think both these guys went on to have an amazing tournament for them.
That's interesting, because I apparently thought this match was quite okay. I think I was definitely impressed with Titan, because I don't know what the hell I expected from him. But I think they worked a pretty basic structure, and I thought they did it well enough. I remember Titan, he wants to get the pace going, and Kanemaru, no, we're fucking grounding you. We're, working down limbs very slowly. Making sure you can't do all your fun stuff with the babyface comebacks every once in a while with the fast, explosive offense. I thought, they pulled off that formula really well.
Yeah, I feel like if Kanemaru had an inch of charisma, he'd be really good.
That's fair. Kanemaru is a board.
Yeah. He's really good. He's technically fine. He does some smart stuff, like you say, with the healing. But you just look at him and he looks like he's just not there. He's got a very neutral expression.
He looks like he's just fucking gone the whole time. I think it was kind of interesting because they kind of work two similar back-to-back matches, but not necessarily, of course, because Titan can obviously go a lot faster than Tiger Mask can.
Yeah.
And I thought that was to this match's aid, actually, that when Titan finally got away from Kanemaru, his offense was just that much more explosive, that much more frenetic, I guess I want to say.
Fair enough. What do you give this one?
I went at 2.
Okay. So next we had Jonathan Gresham and Marty Scott. What?
No, but you just didn't share. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I'm not, you're the ratings guy on the show,
Oh, I'm the ratings guy, am I?
Yeah, of course. If anybody
Sure.
wants to see my ratings, they can check out my end of year spreadsheet. Keep it close to the chest. It's irrelevant. I don't like. I rate these matches, but I don't think it's that relevant for me to say what I rated them. Jonathan Gresh versus Maurice Cole. I really like Jonathan Gresh. I've been a fan for years. He had a match with Chris Hero back when Chris Hero was still alive, where he had. It was just amazing. It was one of my favorite Chris Hero matches of the year. Just a really clever guy. Reminds me a lot of an early Zack Sabre Jr. in that he's just doing stuff that's fresh and innovative with technical wrestling. All his transitions are smooth as fuck. He's just a clever guy that's really good to watch what he does with technical stuff because it's just really cool and new and fresh. It's very Zack Sabre style. It's not kind of Pete Dunne, William Regal style where it's like very nasty technical wrestling. It's very pretty technical wrestling, and I like that about him. I thought Maurice Cole was a great first opponent to start the block off with. I didn't think this was like match of the night or anything, but I did think it was really good, and I thought, let me see, I have more notes about this one. Technical stuff that just feels fresh and flashy. There was some really clever stuff in here, like it's been a while since I watched this, but I'm pretty sure there was a corner spot. That was just I think all this night actually there were a couple. Yeah, here we go. There were a couple of corner boot spots that were just very Chris Hero-esque. In that Chris Hero always like to play with expectations with the corner boot stuff, where they don't do the cliche with it. So I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was good.
First, I want to ask you. What do you rate Gresham's Bryan Danielson cosplay?
I guess now that you say that, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Gresh wrestles a lot like early Bryan Danielson, so but definitely
he's BD. He's Black Bryan Danielson.
But yeah, no, I definitely like Jonathan Gresham in this tournament as well. I think what he needs to do is develop some sort of something that he can, some sort of character that he can apply to his technical stuff. Because again, I mean, like Zach developed it as kind of an ace persona, and Bryan Danielson Bryan Danielson started in that kind of flashy technical style and very quickly became the dirty technical wrestling style. That I talk about with like Dunn and Regal, whereas he could always do the flashy stuff, but when he got over on the indie scene was when he was a bastard. So like that was what he developed early. I think Gresh is good at it, and I think also he's adding a lot of flying to his game, which is cool because you kind of need that these days. But I think if he's gonna get to the top levels again, he's gonna need to add something else to his physical storytelling. But in terms of like smooth technical stuff, I think he's the best in the world on the indie scene right now. I can't think of anyone else who does technical stuff as smoothly as he does.
What would you consider indie scene?
I guess he's not really on the indie scene anymore.
I'm like, he's ROH locked up.
Well, I mean, New Japan at least. Like, that's a national promotion.
Well, yeah, fair. But, he's contracted to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. But even then, I think because, I don't know, there's just something about what he's doing that's different to Bryan and Zach, and that they've moved on now. So I think it's probably still a fair comment to say that Gresh might be the best in the world at what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of anybody who, obviously Bryan Danielson, because he literally dresses like him, but I can't think of anybody where I look at Jonathan Gresham and go, oh, he works like that guy right now, because you just can't. I think he's got a very interesting kind of take on what you were talking about, that kind of pretty grappling. Yeah. This is interesting, because this is I think the one time I've done this, I think, since kind of knowing you. I went back on this match. As in, I watched it once and said, I don't think this is very good. And then I heard you talk about it one time and say, I really like this. So I went back and watched it. And it didn't massively improve, but it improved quite a bit. Jumped half of a star.
And to be clear, I'm not. This was my third favorite match of the night. So it's not like I'm throwing it out there as this was the best in the tournament or anything. But I did really like it. There are nights of this tournament where nothing was better than this match for me. You know what I mean? Like, there are nights where I rated everything
definitely
lower than this match. So, like, I thought it was, like I was saying to you, on my scale last year, this would be in, like, the top, 40, 30%. And that still holds to this year. I'm pretty sure it's in the top 40, 30%. So, you know. So what did you think of the match? You haven't talked too much about
I thought it was a lot of fun. Gresham's pretty grappling, kind of works perfect against Skrull's. I don't even know how to describe how Skrull wrestles now. He's like
a short bursts grappler.
I was going to say, he's a sports entertainment grapple.
He's the old school Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, what did I used to call it? Sports enti pseudo grappler, I think I used to call it. Brawly pseudo grappler.
That's perfect. Because when I think of Marty, actually, I don't think of him doing grapples. I think of him punching, and then doing a weird like bird taunt where he's like, "Ha!"
Yeah, and he definitely had with guys like that, with Brett and Sean and Marty, is that they're generally just brawlers because they're sports ent guys, but they have their spots, and people look at them and they think, oh, they're great technical wrestlers because all their spots are grappling. But they don't do the, like with Zach and Gresh and Daniel, those are technical wrestlers because everything they do, they can transition, right? They can do the transition on the mat between one thing to another. Whereas the pseudo grapplers, they just have their grapply spots. They don't know how to transition between them. They don't work a technical match. Every now and then they will just do something that looks like, ooh, that looks like a technical spot. Like the classic one is a brawler who has a submission finish, right? Like, oh, he's a great technical wrestler.
I was going to say, your finish is the chicken wing? That's old school wrestling. You're a fucking technical wrestler.
Yeah, and Marty, like stealing Pete Dunne shit of working the fingers and stuff. And Marty does it well. It's just that it's not like he cleverly breaks the fingers every match. He does it the exact same way every time.
Yeah, I forget. Why am I forgetting what Gresh's finish is? It's an octopus. It's an octopus.
Well, he uses the octopus. I don't think that's his finish. I think he's
because whatever it was.
Has he even won any matches to the point you're up right now?
Oh no, I'm thinking about a completely different night where I made this about who Marty was working against. So ignore that. We'll come back to that.
So in general, so after your second watch, what rating did you give this match?
I ended up going with a 3 on this.
Okay. So the next match was the start of some crazy shit this tournament.
Yeah.
Shingo Show. Well, that was a G1 match.
Shingo Show was fucking great. Like I'm so astonished by Show. Like I know he's still in his tag team with Yo. He's still sometimes coming out to Rocky Romero being all like, oh, we're the 3,000 dope motherfuckers.
Roppongi 3K.
Yeah, but holy shit, he dyed his hair away from, because was he the like red-headed one or the blonde one?
He's been blonde. He was blonde. I think he was blonde last year for the Super. I think he's had a lot of different hairstyles.
Anyways, he dyed his hair so he doesn't look like he's like a preteen. He's got his own gimmicks. His finish makes sense with his gimmicks. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was so astonished. Like, you're not just part of a random junior tag team. Like, you're an actual, like, you're a fucking star, dude. Like, what are you doing?
He had a great tournament last year.
Like, because I don't think I watched Best of the Super Junior. Or I did, and I totally forget. I watched probably the first couple.
Kind of got overshadowed because Taiji and I think it was Taiji and Hiromu who were in separate blocks that year, and they were just killing it every night. But he did have a really good tournament last year.
So
what I liked about this match, so this match, they tried to do this type of match like 4 times in this block alone, and maybe once in the other block, and they're all really pretty good this time around. There's a little stretch here in a couple days. Where there are a couple matches like this that are really, really good, but I don't think anything came to this point, because what they did is they laid the groundwork, they kept everything interesting for about 20 minutes, just slowly building that, like, these two are pretty even, both really heavy physical guys. And then the last 20 minutes, it was like bomb, sequence. Shingo's close, but he doesn't have enough to beat Sho. And then Sho is this close, he's going to get the upset, but he doesn't quite have enough, and it just goes back and forth. And there are some incredible near falls in the last half of this match. And they keep it up while keeping the pacing perfectly. And what I like about this style of match is one thing I love about this type of match is the escalation is just like when you don't think they can take it to another gear, they do something different. It's not just that they hit 12 finishers instead of 11. They do a different style of sequence, and the desperation grows and the fighting spirit grows.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like, as you were talking, I thought kind of back to what I was talking about with Kenny Omega a little bit earlier. Into the show, not this show, but the program, the live stream, the podcast. All right, leave me alone. And thinking about how like Kenny would have a very similar like length match, but he never switched it up. And I think you kind of alluded to that, or instead of hitting 12 finishers, which not necessarily he does, but he does throw out like 20 V triggers. They built this really well. Like,
one thing that helps is that Shingo has 3 established finishes, which is one of the things that, like, that's kind of the compromise between the people who, I don't know if you like this anymore, but used to be like, a match must end with a finisher. And then people like me, it was like, I love it when matches don't end with finishers. The compromise is to have what, like, Shingo does. He has 3 finishers.
I think that there's certain elements to where matches should definitely end in finishers, and I think that there's certain stories where I feel like a finisher makes sense and it's climactic and it's a finisher. It's put that to bed, we're done. But I think that in a certain context, just not doing a finisher can be really cool and tell a really great story. But I think if you're not using a finisher, it mostly has to be for story purposes in wrestling, or else I kind of just am weirded out by it, I guess. I don't have anything against it. It'd just be weird, I think. Maybe that's because, like a cultural thing. Like I've been,
yeah, for sure.
I came into wrestling watching the WWE, so I expect every match to end with a finisher. If I, started watching a different company first, maybe, if I had started watching TNA first, I'd expect every single match to end in a fuck finish. And when something happened clean, I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on? Where's Bischoff? Where's Aces and A's? What's going on?
I love that. Also, one of the things that's good with Shingo in that regard is that one of his finishes, the one that doesn't often end matches in New Japan, is just it's the lariat, which is a perfect occasional finish, because whenever a match ends with non-finisher, I always my favorite non-finisher ending is a stoppage, a strike, a knockout, and having a lariat as your off finish definitely leans into that.
I was thinking of like a submission, like just like fucking somebody's leg up so much or something like that. I'm not a finisher guy, but if I twist your ankle like this, are you gonna? Yep, he did.
Yeah, Sabre does that a lot. Sabre just does 5. Although he got more streamlined in recent years. He has a few finishes he goes to.
I think it's because he's starting to try to attempt to move up in like the New Japan ranks. You know what I mean?
He defied all expectations in New Japan. He just showed up and was like a main eventer.
He just showed up and was like, hello.
I mean, he's really fucking good, so I'm not that surprised.
He showed up and was like, hello.
But he's a thin, lanky, very white guy. I was not expecting Geto to be like, yo, you are heavyweight. You are strong.
you heavyweight now.
So yeah, back to Shingo's show. You were talking about it.
Yeah, it's really fun. They build this as like the two most strongest guys in this block, maybe even in this tournament, going up against each other on night one. Both in terms of like wrestling ability, because they put like the commentators. I'm watching the English commentary, unfortunately. I think
they've begun this tournament. Honestly, I've been switching between the two. And aside
from,
I don't mind Coleman. I like Chris, the guy who's on Twitter a lot. And
I was about to say I love Chris. He's great.
And I'm getting used to Kelly. And I just don't like Juice Robinson. I'm not sure if you've gotten to the Juice Robinson shows yet.
I have not yet. Oh no. Anyways, they did a really good job at hyping up the fact that like, if you've only seen...
No, it's not it's show.
Oh, sorry. They say, show. If you've only seen show, like, as a tag team guy, you're about to, like, see some different shit, because this guy is like, he's super strong for his size, and like, he's gonna fuck up Shingo, and Shingo's gonna fuck him up, and whoever wins this match is gonna win the entire block. And like, if Shingo wins this match, he's going the whole way undefeated. Like, no question. He's gonna beat everyone. He's fucking unstoppable. Sho is our only shot at making sure Shingo doesn't win A block. And I thought that story, that kind of desperation, like, we don't want Shingo winning this block necessarily. He's just a shit person. Fuck him. And kind of just that feeling like, holy shit, night one, we're already feeling as if, like, if this one match doesn't go this way, this entire tournament could be over in, like, a night. It was such a cool thing that I don't think I've ever felt in wrestling, because I don't think they've ever done this kind of, like, angle before for this type of tournament. Like, just where it's kind of shocking to me that the commentary is just like, no, nobody else has a chance to beat Shingo. Like,
it's the first time the juniors have had an 18-point tournament, which I'd still be shocked if Shingo goes 9-0, because literally,
I would as well.
18 points has literally never happened. Although, you know, there aren't too many matches left.
Oh shit.
But one thing I really liked about this match is it was really fresh, and not just, I mean, the story elements you were talking about definitely apply, but even just separately, Sho's, you know, was a big guy last year, but Shingo, because he comes from Dragon Gate, because he comes from that environment where, like, he's used to dual promotion being a junior promotion, so, like, he's a big guy, and he's learned how to be the power junior, right? He's learned how to be the bruiserweights, you know, to take from another guy. So it's just something we don't see a lot in New Japan. You know, we see it sometimes with the old guys, like Tiger Mask and Liger, are definitely not juniors anymore. Don't tell anyone.
Wait, what? Gato somewhere wakes up in his sleep, looks around.
Yeah, he's a fucking big guy too. Like, he's a big guy, Shingo, and he's got a good build for it. And he's just used to this environment where he's a power junior and he's working base, but he's also like Shingo doesn't fly at all. Like, he doesn't even give it. Like, most of the power juniors we've seen in New Japan are like, we'll throw a tope in here or there. Shingo, nah, he's not like that. And that adds that really cool dynamic, because not only is he big and strong, but in the context of all these flippy fucks, he's also smart. And that's really terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, he's not just big, strong, physically athletic, but he's also smart. It's like, that's scary. And that's why he's being put over as such a powerful competitor in this tournament. And this match is perfect for him.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No?
Kind of touching on what I kind of mentioned earlier with that. Like, when the commentary or whatever is talking about Shingo going undefeated, I kind of was mentioning that, like, it was kind of shocking to me that, like, the next couple nights ever, matches will start and they'll just be like, so how long do you think this is going to take Shingo to win? I'm like, holy shit.
Shingo, I mean, we'll talk about this a bit more in a bit, but, like, Shingo's been on the ropes for most of the tournament, I have to say, the way they've been working.
I've kind of felt that was going to be the story, with how confidently they're always just like, Shingo's fucking got this, and then, he almost, but nope, not enough. Because they talk about, like, he's smart, kind of like you said, but he's also really powerful, and he doesn't make mistakes often. That's actually a line that I think Chris says in this match against Sho. He says, see, Sho's made a mistake, and he's given up the momentum to Shingo. I don't know if Sho's going to be able to take that back, because Shingo's not going to fuck up. Like, he's just not going to. And of course, the 3 finishes also help, because they talk about how many weapons he's got, how he can beat you from so many different positions. I think it's just a great story in general for a tournament. Hopefully it is great. Going forward, I think it's kind of held up the next couple nights, but never hit as hard as this, because of, like, as I said, that desperation Show, you know, I need to do this, because if I do this, I'm pretty sure I can, like, beat everybody else. If I can beat the guy who's supposed to beat everybody else, maybe I can beat everybody else, and I can be that guy. But who the fuck am I? I'm just a guy in a tag team. No, I'm fucking great. I'm a pro wrestler, mommy, and I can catch them all or something, you know?
Yeah, what I liked about this as well, and we're going to talk about that very soon, but the next night's show is got Dragon Lee. So Sho has, night one, Sho has by far the favorite in the tournament. Night 2, he has the champ. So he's got 2 big back-to-back matches, and if he can win both of them, he's definitely grand. If he can even just win one of them, he's in a great position. But
yeah.
So the last match tonight was Dragon Lee Taiji Ishimori, which was probably one of the most deceptive matches of the tournament for me, because my notes are all like, Taiji is doing what he did last year. He's just like Hiromu in that everybody works his match, and he's pretty good at that. I didn't think this match was great, but everybody has to work. So what did you give the Shingo show match rating wise?
I gave it a 3.75.
Wow, I'm surprised that's not higher considering how much you praised it.
It probably would be. It probably would be. Now that I think about how much I really did enjoy that match, I might go 4. But I kind of feel weird about changing the match based on what I remember from like a week ago.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. Like you didn't change it. I'm just surprised at the time you went. You didn't go higher on it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I thought people work Taiji matches. I thought. Obviously Taiji's not as good at it and I figured this out as the tournament went along because I was wrong. This match was not about Taiji Ishimori at all. But at the time I was like, people do tend to work Taiji matches, which are kind of technical-ish with some flying in there, but mostly just dirty. Taiji gets a lot of people to work dirty, and the reason why he's not quite as good at it as Hiromu, I thought, was just because Hiromu has a volcano of charisma. That's not quite right. Taiji doesn't get everybody to work his style. Dragon Lee's just a chameleon. Also, Taiji, the reason why Taiji can't do the Hiromu thing, because they are very similar wrestlers. They're guys who work spot to spot, right? Physically, they don't have a lot in between. They have good spots, and they're very crisp and clean inside a sequence. But getting between sequences is not what they do. But why Hiromu works is because his physical storytelling is perfect, because he never, and I mean never, takes himself seriously. Taiji does like 60% of the time. And when he's not taking himself seriously, Taiji's pretty good. But then he's like, you're a bone soldier. That's the weirdest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, I think I've explained this to you. And kind of now that you mention how obviously seriously he takes himself as the Bone Soldier, it kind of, I think, adds up to me. I think Taiji Ishimori looks like a second grader. He's got like that haircut. He's like a rich kid though. Like he thinks he can like take your ball on the playground or something like that. And maybe that's deep emotional like heat that I have that I don't know where I have it from. I don't think I've ever directly experienced that.
Well, that's why he's a great foil for Hiromu, because Hiromu is a second grader who gets his ball taken away from him constantly,
and then his neck broken. Oh no.
No, when Taiji's in there with Dragon Lee, he's not a second grader. He's a sophomore. He's fighting for his life.
I don't like Ishimori that much. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't find his matches overly interesting. And maybe that's more. I might have a lot of a more favorable view on this match. I far from hated it, by the way. I did not hate it at all. But I think its placement is just so fucking terrible. Like, I think they knew how. I don't know if they knew how good Shingo show was actually going to be wrestling wise, but the story was there.
I think it's a tradition to main event the first Best of the Super Juniors night with the champ.
Champion, if he's there? You cut out.
I said champ, okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries there.
They should have just swapped day 3 and 1. They should have had Show Dragon Lee on this show.
Yeah, because then you could have had Show win a match already, and it feels like momentum. Oh, yeah, right. Huh. Fair. I forgot what day 3 was until I looked at it.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. We're going to talk about this a few times, but I don't think the block balance is right this year at all. And part of that's because of El Despy.
No.
Because Despy's good. But Block B's a shit show for me. I looked at Block B and when I was first looking at Block B, I forgot how much I liked Rocky Romero in these tournaments. Actually,
Yeah.
tweeted him
We'll get on that.
Last time he was in these tournaments, I tweeted him. I was like, "Bro, you had a good tournament." He's like, "Thanks, dude." That was
Awesome.
my recognition from Rocky Romero 4 years ago on Twitter, and I remembered that.
Is Rocky Romero podcast canon now? Like, does he exist?
We should
in this
ask
world?
Rocky Romero to come on the podcast and start beef with people.
That's it. Tell him, be like, hey, Rocky Romero, can I get you to say fuck Jonathan Puddle real quick? Thank you.
So yeah, aside from him and Will, who, by the way, Will is having a really good tournament, even for his standards, but we'll talk about him in a minute. So yeah, anyway, this Dragon Lee Taiji match, this wasn't Dragon Lee's best match of the round. I actually did really like this match, but not like at an exceptional level, and I thought it was all Taiji, and I was like, Taiji's going to be great, but I very much changed my opinion on Taiji quickly. What did you give the match?
I gave it a 3.25.
Okay, never mind. See, that's for me. The way you described this match and the last match is a lot more of a gap than half a star. Gonna put it out there.
It probably is. I should have probably gone back and watched Shingo and Sho just for the fun of it because I enjoyed that match so much. Like to where I'm wondering why I have it at like a 3.75 because like talking about it earlier. Like, with the commentary and stuff like that, and everything working really well in its favor, I got excited. Like, I felt really good. I was like, I love that match so much. There was such a fun thing going on there. I don't know why I only have it at that. I'm gonna have to go and watch it again after we're done this.
Yeah, well, I definitely feel like there's a kind of a, for me anyway, there's a kind of top 5 developing in terms of matches over the course of the day. So if we end up with like, for me, I'm thinking there's probably going to be around 5 matches that break 4. So what we could do is after the final, we could get that top 5 and just rewatch and see what we think after, with the whole context of the tournament.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be great because currently I have, unless if you don't count Shingo and Sho, which most likely, almost certainly will be, I have nothing over 4.
Actually, yeah, I'm looking to technically, aside from Shingo and Sho, which I did go higher than 4 on, I only have one other match that's 4. But there's a lot of 3.75s, and there's also, I've still got a couple days left. And the final, God willing, as long as it's not El Phantasmo versus Taiji, I guess.
ELP versus Taiji.
That's the
Battle
thing with New
of the
Japan
Bullet
tournaments,
Club.
is they vary. No, that's the Battle of the Bullet Club. Good sir, is Taiji versus Kanemaru.
Is Kanemaru in the Bullet Club?
Yes, I think so.
I thought he was part of what's his name's group.
Who's? Oh, Suzuki Gun.
I think so.
Hold on, let's see. He's in one of the heel groups.
He's one of them, yeah. He is, yeah. He's in the same faction as Despy. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm reading this wrong.
No, that's Suzuki Gun, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Hold on.
So what we're really looking out for is the Battle of Suzuki Gun with Taka.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can't confirm.
Suzuki Gun, yeah. They're all the same to me. During the juniors.
All the heel, like, I was supposed to say ROH, all the heel NJPW factions are the same to you.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Anyway, we can, the final should be good, but we can go through that anyway. So this first show was really good. It was fun to kick off. Second show, of course, never mind. I'm looking at the second show, but that's not actually the second show because I didn't watch the second show. Quick thoughts on the first day of B Block, would you please?
I thought it was really great.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Wait, the first day. Oh, sorry, first day of B Block.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Oh, thank God. First day B Block has, I would say, I think I had 2 matches that were kind of worth watching. Oh no, that's probably not right. Tucker, what are you doing? Oh no. It has 1 match worth watching and one that I'm very confused.
Did you give a match a high rating? Don't be shy.
I Gave El Phantasmo Bandito a 2.75.
That's not that high.
It's high compared to the rest of the show.
So, what's the craziest match I gave a 2.75 to? So I can make you feel better. No, that's not that crazy. I gave a 2.5 to Marty Scurll versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Oh. Oh, that's concerning.
It was good, though. I really liked that match. Anyway, so, do you want to talk about that match, then?
Yeah, from what I remember from it, there were some fun flippy bits, I think. I think I was just kind of more interested in, holy shit, El Phantasmo's doing all these cool things, and then realizing, oh wait, he's only cool things the next night.
Yeah.
Because he was doing like the rope walk or whatever, and I was like getting into it. I'm like, this guy might be really good. And then this was
I like some of his spots. I think the rope walk thing is stupid.
I think it's stupid in terms of like realism in wrestling. It's very impressive though.
Yeah, I mean, there's I think it's back when he was still working outside of WWE. Mascara Dorada used to do a bunch of stuff with the ropes, and that actually made some sense. I think, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. The end of it is cool, but it's just the walking. And like, I'm not the like realism guy, but there's got to be some level of suspension of disbelief. And if you spend a minute walking across 3 ropes, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the other guy, like, doesn't push you. You don't just, like, what the fuck? He just stands there and he's like, this is okay. What's he gonna do, actually? I'm interested.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think the next night I very quickly realized, actually, hold on. What did I rate his next match? Oh my god, I rated his next match the same thing. Did I actually like him? Oh no.
I mean, I like him. I just think that he's very impressive. Hopefully he hasn't been working that long. Because I do think he's very impressive athletically. I just think...
Do you want to know something?
Is he like 30 something?
El Phantasmo has been working the Canadian Indies since like 2011. He's 32.
Okay. I still think there's a chance there's something there. Because he is very impressive. But he needs to learn how to structure a match.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fun stuff there. I think that's probably... Because I think it's interesting sometimes when I rate wrestling, because sometimes I just go, that was fun. That feels like that. And other times, like the show match, I can point to all these different things and say, hey, that is what put together to make it a 3.75 or something somehow. But that even seems off to me. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know how I rate wrestling. When I thought I did, but... I don't know. I think Phantasmo just looks like he's having fun, which makes me think I'm having fun.
It's a constantly evolving process. But the other match I assume we wanted to talk about is one that I actually watched, and I think there's a lot to say on that one, is Will Ospreay Bushi. So I really do like what Will's doing in this tournament when he doesn't go 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to say it right now. I gave this match... a 3.25. I don't remember.
I gave it significantly less.
I don't remember it like at all. I don't know.
Cool. It was great. There were 10 minutes of a lot of fun in there. But God, like Will has, I think, 2 out of the 5 or 6 Will matches I've seen. 2 of them are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they're really good. And then the others, it's just like, oh my God, this was really good. And then you decided to add 10 minutes to it. And it's like, I really do like what you're doing, but man, do you not have 25 minutes in you against guys that aren't Kushida.
Right.
I love Will. He's not that guy. The one guy that the long match worked with was Rocky, because they had something to work on then. We're going to talk about that in a second, because we've both seen that match. But yeah, it's Will Ospreay Bushi match. It's just everything wrong with Will in this tournament. I give lower ratings to other Will matches this tournament, but this is one that was very disappointing. A block night. We started with Jonathan Gresham, Taka Michinoku.
This is significantly worse than what Taco's doing the first day. I think Gresham still kind of it's definitely better than the first night's match for Taka, but that's more or less because Gresham is very good.
Yeah, what I said in this one is that they're clever guys, but they base for more exciting people, and they're better in that role. and together they're both basically basing for each other, and nobody's doing the fire. And they didn't really get going. That's basically all I had to say about that one.
Yeah, that's more or less what I think.
Now we move on to a legendary match. A match that means...
Legendary.
A match that means that we have somebody who enters a very exclusive club. And for the first time ever, somebody has achieved a 0 in 4 consecutive Best of Super Juniors tournaments. Tiger Masco.
He is the greatest.
So this match was probably not a 0, but it was very close to being a 0, and I could not give less of a shit about these two people. So I just, at this point in the tournament, they were their absolute lowest. They offered nothing. It was a cesspool of charisma, a charismatic black hole. And yeah, I completely switched off. I could barely finish the match. I thought it was awful.
Yeah, I went 0.75 on this. I just remember it being 2 old guys flubbering around, neither of them having any form of character to attempt to fix the fact that neither of them can really, you know... I don't want to say neither of them can wrestle anymore, because Kanemaru actually somewhat impressed me on the first day, but maybe Tiger Mask
has a really good match later in the tournament, I'm telling you.
Maybe he saps the talent from everyone. Maybe he's the worst wrestler ever. I
think the less said about this match, the better. So moving on to Shingo versus Titan. So you'll probably have more to say about this than me. I thought this was really well paced. I thought there was some good work in here, continued to enforce Shingo's character, but it didn't quite click. I thought this was quite skippable. So I wasn't too into this match. I thought it was good. I thought it was the second best match of the 6 I was rating on this day, because I included the Will Ospreay match. Yeah, I thought it was the second best match, but I didn't think it was like amazing. I'm not sure if you agree or if you really like this one.
This one against... Jeez, I lost myself. What the hell? I thought it was fine, you know? Definitely a step down from night 1. But then again, I think I could say that about almost everything on night 2, I guess, for A Block. Definitely
for me, except for the main event, but we'll get to that.
What did I end up? Ooh, I actually have that bit lower than what I had the other night. Interesting.
I have it lower too, but I could have been higher. We'll talk about it in more detail.
I would probably agree with that now. But anyways, yeah, I think both guys do an all right job. There just isn't the kind of that backing that we had with night 1. Fair amount of let down, I'd say, especially coming off of, again, night 1. Is what it is.
Well, yeah, I think I'm fine with the guys pacing themselves on some nights. You can't go 100% all the time, otherwise you end up like Kenny Omega. So the next match was probably my most disappointing match in the entire tournament. Not that I really expected that much out of these two, but I expected better than this. This was really bad. Like, really, really bad. These are two guys who have technical spots, but cannot go from spot to spot smoothly at all, working a technical match. And it was really, really bad. Like, this might be the worst Taiji Ishimori match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it confirmed my beliefs that I had started to express on night 1. I think I hate Taiji Ishimori. He just fucking sucks, and I hate wrestling because of him.
Obviously, I think more of Taichi than that. But like, these are two guys that work best in an environment where they can be taken smoothly from spot to spot, and then they show up, they do their spot, they work their character, they move on. They can't do that with each other.
I was gonna say, they're like 2 sponges. I don't know why that's what my brain went to. They're like 2 sponges, but they need water to work, so you've just got 2 dry sponges, and you're trying to like clean a window. It's just not working. It's like, yeah, you need some water in there, or else it's just not going to work.
It's dry.
It's dry.
And they did this for 20 minutes, and then they stepped up the pace in the back half. They only sprinted for like 2 or 3 minutes. And the worst part about it was the sprint was sloppy as fuck. there was some serious slop in the sprint.
I do remember this, yeah.
So it was completely disappointing. I was really disappointed with this match. I went under a star on it.
You went under a star. That's interesting. I went 1.2.
I can understand that. I mean, when you get this low, it's very, what do you look for?
It's more, who do you want to give the benefit of the doubt? And I guess I wanted to give Marty the benefit of the doubt. I don't know why the fuck I said didn't even back up my point. I don't like either of these guys. They're both very meh, in my opinion. I see less and less in Marty every single time I watch him wrestle. I don't mean to sound as harsh as I am. It just is what it is. Every single time he wrestles, I go, oh, you're even more limited than I originally thought. I guess it just...
The main event. When I first watched this main event, I was very, very into it. So I even messaged you when I first watched it, wow, that's top end match of the year contender. And I was like, I'm going to dive back a little. When I think back on it, there isn't as much. I can't really attach myself to as much in it as the night one match, and so I ended up dialing it back a little. I still think it's a great match, really, really good. Dragon Lee versus Show, but it's not as good as I initially thought. So it's still really good. So I'm going to talk about what's really good. So the first half of the match was. My notes say basically they looked at the previous match and they said this is how you fill a slower match with content, because even though the first kind of 15-20 minutes of this match were slow, it was never a dull moment. There was always a beat, and they picked a story. And I'm not one of these guys who thinks that every single match should be a limb story, but this match decided to do a limb story, and it's very easy to make a limb story work. Some people are going to dislike this match because the entire story of the match was both guys working over the other guy's right arm, and the entire act 2 of the match was both guys refusing to stop using the right arm. Right? It's the typical fighting spirit story where the right arm for both guys have been worked over, and they've both looked at each other and said, fuck you, I'm going to keep punching you with my right arm. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you've damaged it, you're not going to stop me. And some people are really going to hate that. But I loved it. I thought it was constant. It was consistent. You could see. I mean, it was obvious what they were doing. It wasn't like they just randomly decided to stop selling. They were selling at all times, like death, too. But they refused to let the other guy get the better of them. I liked that there was an inciting incident. I love inciting incident fucking limb stories. Like Walter Thatcher from last year, where the entire open of the match is Walter working over Thatcher. And then Walter misses a chop and hits the ring post, and the match just completely changes. I love those type of matches, and it happened in this one where Show was getting his left arm worked over, which was the one he went into the match injured with. He had a tape over his left arm, and then Dragon Lee hits him with a dive directly on his right arm, and bam! Now he starts working the right arm, and it never goes back. And I really like those type of matches. I thought it was really cool. Then, last 10 minutes, bombs. Pace up. Underdog story again. Show. I love the story that they did with this match, the last match, and Rocky Will, where there are periods of sequences in this match where it feels like Show is so close to winning this match, but he's just not there, and the pace switches and it gets away from him. And I just loved this match. I thought the near falls at the end were very, very strong.
I thought that this match was very good, or maybe even great. I don't know why I said that like that. I said that like my shtick or something. It's not, for those who don't know me.
My shtick.
God, this match worked, man. It's so weird because I went into this kind of expecting Dragon Lee to do a little bit more kind of high flying stuff. As I said, I was brought into wrestling through WWE. I see a mask and I go, okay, how many flips can you do? What do you mean you don't do flips? Get out of here.
Just wait for Dragon Lee Teton on night 9 and you'll see flips.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's good to know.
That match was fucking crazy, too.
That's actually really fun good to know, because I actually thought that. I was like, Teton is actually the guy doing all the flips. I thought that was going to be Dragon Lee. But I guess my thoughts on what Dragon Lee were very, very narrow.
Well, one cool thing about Dragon Lee is it stays consistent pretty much across all his feuds. Dragon Lee flips for his hated rivals, When like
Damn.
he has amazing escalation. Like when feuds get deeper and deeper with Dragon Lee, he does crazier and crazier things, which is why those Takahashi matches are so fucking good. Because every single time they feud, they say, "Okay, what did we do last time? We're gonna take it up a notch." So he goes further and further and further, Dragon Lee, and the more of a rivalry that you sense with him, the more he starts to do crazy shit. He's a chameleon too, because not only that, against dastardly heels, he'll cheat, or he'll be a good guy, or he'll be bad. It's just fuck. I love Dragon Lee. He's so good.
There was like a moment here where, because I wasn't sure coming out of that first match, there was a moment here where I said to myself, totally, like, kind of what I referenced earlier with Show. Holy shit, he's an actual star. Like, because I kind of after the first night I went, was it just that story totally worked right there? He did that perfectly. Shingo played his role perfectly. Maybe that whole thing was just like one lightning in a bottle type situation where everything came together perfectly for that one match. No, I think Sho is actually really good. And I don't know when the fuck this happened, because I always thought of him as the guy in the shitty what's up, bro? R3K, baby. Like, garbage team.
I'm going to throw in right there. I know you don't watch a lot of junior tag matches, but Roppongi Vice has a long history of being a strong core pillar of the junior tag division in all of its from Forever Hooligans to Roppongi Vice to Roppongi 3K. It's all like they genuinely, I'm not even joking, they've all been highlights of the division.
Is Forever Hooligans Roppongi 1K?
Possibly.
0.5K.
Rocky's won the tag titles like 8 times.
Yeah, actually. It was an interesting thing. The commentators brought that up. But anyways, it's so weird, I think, for me watching in this type of match, because I think often in wrestling, like, you see somebody build themselves up to being great. Maybe Sho has been great this whole time, and I've been totally asleep because he looked like he was in a boy band. But, like, this dude fucking gets it. And, of course, then my reaction was, oh, wait, no, he's fought Dragon Lee and Shingo so far. Both of those guys are good. Maybe next show we'll get a true measurement on how good Sho is. But this match was a lot of fun. You mentioned the limb stuff already. I felt like some of what you were saying was a shot at a younger me, which is fair.
No, it's not just you. I mentioned that because it's not just you. There's a consensus across a lot of people. A lot of people don't like the fighting spirit stuff. A lot of people think there should always be a limb story. You have said that a couple times, but it's not just you. There's a wide Twitter consensus on a lot of those things.
It's kind of good to know, at least, because I'm gonna say it didn't even like spark my mind. I mean, I knew, of course, that, like, you know, they were hurt, fighting spirit, whatever. It made sense, I think, like, in terms of storyline, because sometimes I think they do fighting spirit and they just do it to do it, like, oh, I'm hurt, but no, now I'm not. It made sense. Sho lost his biggest match. He can't lose this. If he loses this, what the fuck is even the point? He might as well not even show up anymore. Like, these are the two guys he needs to compete with in order to be, like, a man, like a guy in this tournament. If he can't beat Dragon Lee, then who the hell is he? And Dragon Lee is the champion, and he will not let Sho, you know, knock him off that podium, that pedestal. He needs to assert right now that he is still the top dog. He's, you know, he beat, did he beat Ishimori night one?
No,
I don't remember.
Ishimori won.
Well, there you go. That makes even more sense.
And that's what's interesting to me, there's another story related to what you're saying, is that when they called 25 minutes, that was when Dragon Lee was kind of at a dip, like Sho was kind of in control of the match. And one of the cool things that went through my head is, like, both guys lost their first nights. If they lose this match, with Shingo as dominant as he is, they're probably out of the tournament. And what I thought was, would they be content with a draw? And what was looking really cool is that Dragon Lee was kind of backing off and just kind of seeing it through, playing defensively. And it looked like, yeah, Dragon Lee probably is okay with a draw, but Sho isn't. And Sho went full speed, and Dragon Lee thought, well, I can catch him here.
I kind of speaking on that, kind of close to the finish or whatever, I thought it was less I can catch him here and more, oh, Oh, I see how it is. So we're not just going to do a draw. Fuck you. Like I'll just beat you then, you fucking loser. That's what he would think. Not that that's actually how it is.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I got from that, at least. Like, I was just gonna draw with you, but you know what? You've angered me now. Like, you were gonna try and beat me, like me. And it's not a heel thing. It's just a person thing. You know what I mean? If you are content with, you know what, fine, we'll just call it a draw and we'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, the guy you're going against is all of a sudden like, ha, I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be happy. So yeah, I think they did such a good job with the desperation again.
Do you remember in Act 2, both guys hit arm bars that they spent like 2 minutes building to, and the crowd just went crazy because they were like right-armed arm bars, and it was just like,
yeah,
so much I can. This is why I could have gone higher on this one than the last one, because so much of this match I really liked. But the reason why I thought the match on night one was slightly better is because they just explored the end game more. They hit end game a little earlier, and they just did more of the like, Show is so close, and then Shingo is so close. To go back to your earlier point about Show, he obviously had a breakout tournament last year, but whereas last year he had a breakout Best of the Super Juniors tournament, I think this year he's having a breakout G1. Like, this is a G1 run for him. And I don't know if everyone will take that as a compliment, but like, the style of matches he's working is G1 level for sure.
Especially, I think, because historically, I don't think the Best of Super Juniors has always had like stories like this. Like, I mean, they've had stories, of course. I'm not like discrediting that, but like in the G1 or stuff, all the time, you can look back at one guy, an entire tournament, and kind of see where he's going.
Well, yeah, the Best of Super Juniors does have that. I just think that this is kind of a different style of story. This is a more heavyweight story.
That's fair.
It's usually in Super Juniors, with the exception of the Taguchi thing, it's a little bit more prove yourself. Whereas Shingo feels like it is prove yourself, but it's to an ace. You know what I mean? Like, there's never usually that centralizing figure, and I feel like this year there's been a couple of them, and they're kind of being made by Show, which.
Sorry.
No, I didn't know where I was going with that sentence, to be honest.
Okay. It's really weird, I think, because I talk sometimes about wrestling, about things taking time, like I said, or whatever, right? You see somebody improve very slowly until all of a sudden they have that match where you're like, holy shit, they're there. Where for me, Show just came out of fucking nowhere and was like, hello. There's so much room to go forward with him and Shingo, or him and Dragon Lee. Like,
I'm really hoping he stays. There's I'll mention it at the end when I briefly touch on the stuff that you haven't seen. But I hope he stays in the tags, and I really hope we get a reunion of a different tag team, and we have just a few tag matches between those guys.
I have no idea what that refers to, so that's how you know I haven't watched that.
Yeah, indeed, quite good, sir. Because I think I'm fine with. I think we need. When's Hiromu coming back? Because I want Hiromu.
If you listen to Twitter every week.
So what did you actually give this? It was 3.5. You said you gave this one, right?
Yes, I did go 3.5 on this.
I broke 4 on it. I started at like 4.5. I still think it's really good. I think this is the type of match where we get no. Yeah, go on.
I keep cutting you off. I feel the timing is not there today for me.
I do it all the time. It's fine. You got to get your points.
I think both of these show matches are easily over 4. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I'm wondering if I was just maybe in a bad mood when watching them or something. Because
you have to watch A block before this. B block before this one.
That's true. Yeah, no, I typically sit down and I'll watch a couple shows in a row. I won't just like a couple show matches. Yeah, I'll watch show matches in a row.
Are you sure you don't watch a couple of Yos in a row?
Yeah, Yo matches. I nap to them. Fuck you, Yo.
I literally have napped to a Marty Scurll match this week. Just gonna put it out there. It was Marty Scurll awesome. Tiger Mask.
Oh God! Hey, I have that rated.
Mask. Yeah, I have it rated too. So onwards to before we deal with day 3, which will be the last day, I believe, because it's day 6. You barely watched day 6, right?
I actually haven't watched any of Day 6. I thought I did. I did not. I had the first match written down, and I did not rate it. So I assume...
we won't talk about Day 6 at all then, because really, out of that block of matches, the only one I really want to talk about is Ospreay Romero, which is Day 5. So let's just finish off with Ospreay Romero.
Day 4. Oh, yeah. Ospreay Romero is Day 4. Overall.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So have you seen Day 5 then?
Yes.
Day 5 is my Day 3, so never mind. We will talk about Day 5.
Okay, awesome.
We'll talk about Day 5 before Day 4 then, because I'd rather finish with Ospreay Romero. So Sho Taka, what did I say about that? Not much. I thought it was alright. I don't think it got going. It was watchable. I thought it was okay.
I gave this a 3. I liked it. I kind of referenced it earlier, but this was the moment where all of a sudden I went, oh my god, Sho is really good. I'm like, he's having Taka's best match of the tournament so far. And Taka certainly still holding his own, but definitely, really slowly crumbling.
Taka is coming motherfucker narrative, aren't you?
Yeah. This entire tournament for me has been 3 letters. S-H and O. I can't stop gushing about him. He's so good. I don't know.
I still really like... I came into the tournament liking Sho, so it's not as much of a revelation for me. That might be why, once he went 0-2, I thought the story dropped off quite a bit.
Probably, yeah.
There was a couple matches later that you haven't seen that I was like, oh yeah, he is really good. Sho is great. And there are a couple in there that really fit his style. But this was immediately after going 0-2, and sure, he won, and that was kind of a big upswing again. But like, for me, this was kind of paced out Sho, ready to, take his next 7 in stride. And of course, we don't know, he can still be alive in the block. But with the story they're pushing on Shingo, 0-2 is quite a ways out.
Yeah,
1-2 after this Taka match.
Well, because I had pitched to you that I thought the only loss he'd take was to Shingo. We'd get to the very last thing, and Shingo would mess up and lose. Like, he'd make some kind of simple mistake. He'd get counted out or something like that. And, like, I guess he'd still hold the tiebreaker.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. Maybe he could get beat by someone, and I don't know.
Well, the way they can do it... even if you have the tiebreaker loss, if you get caught in a 3 or longer point tie, then it goes to kind of a mini group. So that's happened before. It was a very crazy last night for Best of Super Juniors in 2016, where Taguchi just sailed through, and it was like, Will Ospreay, you are in a 5-way tie. It was crazy. It was like, okay, if Will wins, he doesn't go through. But if Will draws, he goes through because he's in a 5-way tie. But if he wins, he's only in a 2-way tie and he doesn't go through. So he has to draw and strategically lose. Or something. It was crazy.
Awesome.
Stupid as fuck. I want to find it now because it was really stupid. It was the 2016, I believe. Because I remember it specifically being Will Ospreay who went through. Yeah, there it is. So in Block B of the 2016 Best of the Super Juniors, Will Ospreay, Bobby Fish, Ricochet, and Volador Jr. all finished on 8 points. Jushin Liger, Tiger Mask, Chase Owens, and Trent Beretta all finished on 6 points. That was Block B.
Jeez.
So it was certainly something. That was a really fun year, to be fair. So yeah, if you have multi-way ties, you can still stay in it. But the English comms I was listening to on one of the Karkin shows, they were basically like, they could still be in the tournament, but it's a little crazy, so let's just say they're out.
Do you want to move on to the accursed?
Yeah, I didn't quite give this one a 0, although I think I could have. Tiger Mask has had 2 0s in many of recent tournaments. It's not quite as long as his 1-0 streak. Let's see, did I write anything about this? So I will read my notes verbatim. Skrull Tiger Mask was Skrull Tiger Mask. Not giving it 0 because I didn't pay enough attention to condemn it that hard. Was trash, though.
Yep, I gave it a 0.5. This is what happens when you do find some water for your sponge. But it's not very much water. It's like, and it's kind of dirty also. So you're trying to clean your window and it might just be making it dirtier. And you're like, wait, what am I doing? Why is this happening right now? Am I not smarter than this? Is nobody smarter than this?
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. So Ishimori Titan. I said it was short and sweet. It was fun. It was watchable. Energized the crowd, but wasn't anything amazing. Very watchable. And at this point, I'd like to mention a spot that Titan does that pops me every time, where he does a clothesline in the corner and falls through the second rope. It's amazing. Have you not noticed that spot?
Oh, yeah, yes. Sorry, I have. I don't know why it didn't click, because when you said it, you cut out a little bit, and you said clothesline, like, flies out of the ring. And I'm like, clothesline flies out of the ring. I'm like, He does the Miz's kind of clothesline gimmick, but instead of catching himself, he just flies out of the ring, turns around, runs back in.
No, what I like is that he did the runs back in early, but as the tournament goes on, because he's getting more tired, he's selling it more. So he does it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fucked. And he gets back in slowly.
That's awesome. Type of thing you look for in long run tournaments. Changes in how you're carrying yourself.
Yeah. I like the tradition. I was hoping Show would go this route. The traditional adds more bandages, because his left arm was obviously bandaged against Lee, and then they fucked up his right arm. I was hoping, oh come on, 2 bandages, but he only bandages his right arm after that. His left arm's recovered. Ugh.
Yeah. This match,
Ishimori Titan.
Yep.
I
thought it was kind of boring.
Okay.
I thought that the only bursts of fun things were from Titan. Also, say it, Titan, not Titan. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
You terrible racist. It has continued to build upon the grave Ishimori is digging himself in my mind. He just takes 2 more shows, buddy. Maybe 3. You gotta buy a coffin. You gotta climb in it, and then you gotta roll yourself in there. And okay, maybe 4 more, because you have to push the dirt over.
I'm not doing my average for G1 last year. I kept a more detailed spreadsheet, which would average out everybody's star ratings to see what I thought of everyone's performance. Not doing that this year, but it'd be interesting, because I'm looking through my Ishimori ratings, and they are very low. So I wonder what his averages would be. I'll say this, Ishimori hasn't scored a point for me in my Wrestler of the Year calculations so far in this tournament, which Tiger Mask has.
Yeah, I think his biggest detriment is he thinks he takes himself too seriously. He thinks he's the best worker on any given card, when I think he is far from it often.
I think that's projecting, but I agree with the takes himself too seriously thing.
That's true. That's the guy with the ball. He took my ball, damn it. Ishimori took my wrestling and ruined it. I need help.
Oh my god, I'm looking. So I mentioned that spreadsheet about G1 last year. The highest average in Block A from last year is Tanahashi at a 2.97. That would put him 7th in Block B for average star rating.
Oh my god, I do remember that last year. Block B was awesome.
It had Ishii, Ibushi, Naito, Omega, Sabre Jr., Sanada, Juice Robinson, Yano, Goto, and Tonga. Then Block A was Tanahashi, Suzuki, Okada, Evil, Elgin, Yoshihashi, Hangman Page, Togi Makabe, Knife Pervert, and Bad Whack Fare.
Oh my god, Bad Whack Fare. Ugh. It's not racist, by the way. It's how they say it. You want to keep her moving, or no?
Yeah. Fuck that much. Wait, I'm on the wrong day. So this match, I liked this match. I could recognize the quality of what was happening. Dragon Lee, Jonathan Gresham. But there was very much a spark missing from this match. And I obviously love Dragon Lee. I don't think he's a charisma volcano. I think he's a physical storytelling expert, but I just don't think he just creates charisma around him. And Gresham is not that guy either. There was definitely a lack of charisma in this match that kind of just left it unenergized. I thought it was a very good match. I respect it technically. I did rate it relatively highly, but it just did not catch me at all. So yeah, it's one of those that I totally recommend to anybody who likes either of these guys, but it wasn't for me for some reason. It just didn't hit me.
Yeah, I'm similar. I rated it right in the middle. I thought it was solid but not spectacular. These 2 guys do their jobs. Very similar to what you were saying. I think this is like the type of match that like people who don't watch like New Japan or even like just in general wrestling outside of WWE believe that like wrestling outside of WWE is, where it's just kind of two guys wrestling, not much charisma to them. They're kind of just going about things, doing some tight grapples and such. But no, I thought this match was okay. Definitely like a spark missing, like maybe missing like 2 gears or so. Like they kind of got gear 1, gear 2, and then they didn't get to 3 or 4 or something like that. Definitely something a little bit off. I guess probably just what happens when, you know, you're consistently wrestling. Not every single match is going to be this super great magnum opus, even though I think it possibly could have been with these two. But the charisma, the lack of it, would definitely probably be a problem.
So this last match, I'm curious, because I actually really liked this one. I didn't think it, obviously it wasn't amazing, but I did really like it. I thought that Kanemaru, who before this match, I actually write in my notes, I don't like him at all. But he's now, not only, he has a match after this that I really liked as well. So there are a couple matches in this tournament that I'm really enjoying. So the legwork was good. I mean, it proved to me, one thing I noticed in this match is Kanemaru is just actually very proficient. Like, he's clean, he's smooth, he works a leg, and it's very fun, it's interesting. Because of the way Shingo's been built, a heel doing heel stuff with him is a very interesting take on the story, and working the leg was interesting. Shingo does lift offense with a leg story, so people are going to... There are just a group of people that just aren't going to like this match because Shingo lifts a guy when his leg's supposed to be hurt. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought the heel stuff was interesting. I just like that, you know, it takes... Shingo sounds like fucking death when he wasn't lifting. He did my favorite leg sell in the world, which is when he gets Irish whipped and can't make it to the other corner. My favorite leg sell is that. I love it. So I just really enjoyed it. I thought Shingo sold amazingly. Showed another side to his game. He hadn't showed the last few nights. Was like, oh, I'm a powerhouse. I'm really good at physical storytelling, and I'm the badass, and I'm fighting spirit. This time he actually sold, and he sold really well. He's a great seller. So I enjoyed it. Didn't, it wasn't an amazing match or anything, but it was my match of the night.
Wow. Okay.
You hate this match?
I did.
Go ahead, tell me.
I did. I thought this match, it could have just been because we had Tiger Mask versus Skrull, then Teton versus Ishimori, then Lee versus Gresham. This match was boring as fuck. Like, God, I don't find Kanemaru interesting. I get his offense, and I understand the story to it. I just don't think it makes a very great wrestling match with Shingo, and I think that while his selling is fine, I wouldn't go as far as you say. I think it's fine. I wouldn't write home about it or anything like you seemingly would, but you know.
Definitely, I'll stand by that. I'm not. I'll definitely stand by that. I thought it was some of the best on the block for sure.
That's fair. I just think that Shingo kind of just I don't know if he works with this match. I don't know. Yoshinobu just isn't the opponent for him, I don't think. A very slow, kind of prodding technical guy against kind of Shingo either plays like, mostly I think he plays kind of like a hulking beast, like I think like an immovable object type character. He doesn't fly. He runs only to deliver a lariat. He's a monster, and that makes sense. If Kanemaru was a little bit quicker, I could see liking this a lot. Like, if he kind of still did the same things, tried to work down the leg, but was a lot sprier, I think I could have liked this a lot. But it just isn't there. It also doesn't help, like previously mentioned, Kanemaru is a fucking board. So not only is he not very fast, he's not very interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that'll be the consensus opinion for sure. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. Maybe so. There's I'm looking at my ratings to see like when the Kanemaru stuff that I like happens. There's pretty much a stretch here. So day 5 this happens. Then we have the 3 Karkin shows starting day 7, and on the Karkin shows. The first Karkin show, which is day 7, and the third Karkin show, which I think is day 9. Those are the other Kanemaru matches that I really liked. So whether or not you'll change your mind by the end of it, or whether you'll still hate the guy, I don't know. But I enjoyed the Shingo match for sure. Yeah, I was thinking more about it when you said it. I'm pretty sure I would rate that Shingo selling the best I've seen in that block the entire tournament. It's pure sell. So I don't know whether it's worth another look, but I did really enjoy that match. So last match we're going to talk about today from day 4. From the 1 second, I'm gonna go to my spreadsheet and find the date.
Say it loud and say it proud. By the way, when you say it, because it was fucking great.
I didn't go great, but I thought it was really good.
Really, I went great. Oh,
yeah. It's because there were so many of those matches back to back. We can compare them, and I just think this was below the other matches of that type. So it was the 16th of May show, Block B. It was Will Ospreay and Rocky Romero. I did really enjoy this match, but since you're higher on it, why don't you introduce it?
Rocky just kind of shows up and fucking does great stuff with Will. It was weird. Going into this match, I wondered if I would like it. Like, I was like, there might be something here that I just like, because there's kind of like the story thing of kind of Will is, he's trying to bulk up to be a heavyweight. I think that's obvious. The fucking Caprice Coleman's going to shove that down your throat. Be prepared.
He's pretty much already a heavyweight. Like, he's pretty much
he's definitely a lot bigger.
Well, the thing is, he's won the Never belt. He's fought for the IWGP title, I think, on like the anniversary show.
Yeah, he has.
So it's like, he obviously he's still in the junior division, but like he's Kota Ibushi and Naito mid-transition levels. He's just waiting for that top surgery.
I think that there's a really interesting story here, especially since Kevin Kelly actually... It's so weird, commentators in New Japan being helpful. Kevin Kelly talks about how, since kind of everything's gone down or whatever, and Okada's kind of been, not doing so hot lately, Rocky has declared himself as the current leader of Chaos for now. And so I kind of really took interest in this match, thinking if they play off something with Ospreay, even though he's clearly the far better wrestler, like possibly trying to prove himself to Rocky, because Rocky's the leader, and like, maybe he could pull some strings and be like, no, Will's a heavyweight. Like, you should be talking about him for like the big boy belts. And they actually went the complete opposite way, I think, where Rocky was very desperately trying to beat Will and show that, hey, I should be leader. I'm a veteran. I've been everywhere with this. And I think that story really works. Their offense is really great. Rocky moves really well for somebody who I thought did not move very well. Somebody who's like mostly a commentator and a manager nowadays. Rocky, he can still Rocky roll. Haha, I thought of that on the spot. It was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed this. I think it was, thus far for me at least, if I look there and I look... Oh, this is the only 2. Out of the 2 Will matches I've seen thus far, I think this was the far better of the 2. I like this a lot.
I agree with.
Oh. I like this a slight bit more than, I think. Hold on, come here.
Uh-huh.
I like this a little bit more than I liked his match against Bushi.
Okay, I like this a lot more than the match against Bushi.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. I didn't like the match against Bushi a lot.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. And I did really like this match. So I'll talk about a few things in the match that. So yeah, I agree. I think that. So they did a lot of Christmas. I agree with you, Rocky. I think the way he moves is perfect for this tournament. You can't do it all tournament because he just doesn't have the energy for it. But that leads to some cool stuff as well. If his match against ELP didn't go on for 30 fucking minutes, not 30 full minutes. Well, maybe 30. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Maybe it was 30 full. Maybe it was 29. Who knows? But if his match against ELP didn't go on for so fucking long, I think I would have really enjoyed it. because that was a different story. It was like, yeah, he's exhausted, and they told the story with it. But this one was, he's still energetic. I love the way he moves as well. He's very charismatic. I've loved him in this tournament every time I've seen him in it. I'm really high on Rocky Romero. I always have been. I loved all of the well, not all of the tag teams. Every tag team that didn't include Davey Richards, because fuck Davey Richards, that he's had. And yeah, I like Rocky Romero, and this was a really good match. I think there was a lot of, I mentioned in here, there's a lot of traditional Super Junior stuff with some technical stuff being broken up by dives and faster sequencing, really watchable stuff, and then they built in the last minute, the closing stretch was absolutely fire. In terms of the actual sequencing they were doing, I do think it was better than the two show matches, the Lee and Shingo ones in the nights prior. The Matrix Minute stuff they did, so they did a Matrix Minute sequence early. Obviously, a very standard thing for Will Ospreay matches is to do a Matrix Minute sequence and then they stare at each other. But this one, it wasn't really like, oh, look how cool we are. It was kind of just Matrix Minute style, avoiding everything, and well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to catch this guy. And then they call back to it later. In the closing stretch, they do a lot of Matrix Minute sequences where somebody catches them. And I really liked that. That was a nice piece of storytelling where they started with it and they looked at each other and the idea was maybe we won't be able to catch each other. And in the closing sequence, whenever somebody got an upper hand, it was from a Matrix Minute sequence where somebody was caught. And I love strikes and I like strike-based offense, and I thought that was really cool. I thought all the near falls were completely bought in. The reason why I thought this match was a tier below the two show matches, I just think the emotional investment they were able to create in the back half wasn't at that level. I thought just the underdog was Rocky. I love Rocky. Don't think he's as good a show. And I think in the back half, the selling, the charisma, the physical storytelling, Rocky it's just not as good as show, and that's a high bar to clear. And even though I think the actual sequences they were doing in the back half was better than those matches, I cared more about the show ones because again, I just think show is an exceptionally strong physical storyteller. That's why I think it was on a level lower than those two. But this was a great match though. Not great. Well, maybe a great match on a second viewing, but it was very close to being a great match, if not.
The only thing that I would say to kind of frame what I was thinking, this match came after Robbie Eagles versus Ren Narita, Bandito versus Yo, and El Fantastic Bushi. So maybe that's why I thought of it as so much higher, because it came on such a show where...
But then when... I mean, you've kind of used counter arguments tonight because you've said, oh, these matches were all shit and then we had a great match, so I liked it more. But then for the Shingo Kanemaru match, you said that all these matches were shit, so I thought the shit match was shit. So I don't know. The shit matches make you think good matches are good, or do they make you think matches are bad?
I think that's totally possible in both ways. I think it's like a tone thing. I think that Rocky and Will explode so much. They're so much quicker than anything that happens before them that it literally wakes you up. It's like watching a shot of caffeine. Like they're so fast and they're doing so many cool things that it definitely is way better versus Shingo. Oh, whoops. I don't know what the fuck I just did in my spreadsheet there. That was weird. Versus with the Shingo Kanemaru match where it's kind of a slower pace, right? You're doing a like limb story about legs of all things.
Well, it started I'd say it started pretty quick. They went straight to the outside. You know, he's using the... I don't know. But I definitely think it's definitely a different level to the Matrix Minute stuff they did in the opening for Will Rocky. I'll take that point. So, what did you actually give the Will Rocky match before we move on?
I went 3.5.
Okay, so you don't think it's a great match either?
I would call that great. That's a whole star above average. Like
in the... I guess.
Oh, you're right. I don't know if I'd say that that's great. I'm bad with my.
I mean, it's
nowadays.
fine. I mean, you define your own ratings and such, but like generally speaking, in the old school star rating before Dave decided to add 50 stars, it was 4 was the great match threshold.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is 3 good, and then 2 is like okay, and then
something like
1
that.
Is bad, 0 is please kill me.
Yeah, for me, like my start of like. If something is 3.5 or higher, that's when I could start recommending it to people based on certain criteria. So
I would definitely recommend this. So
yeah, I'm higher than you on this match.
Oh jeez, okay, wow,
yeah, I'm definitely higher than you on this match.
I'm very stingy then, I guess, with my grades. I don't know. Maybe I'm saving for something to really blow my socks off. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Well. yeah, I enjoyed this match a lot. So we're not going to talk about any of the rest of the stuff, even though I've seen it 3 more days, and the actual tournament is a few more days ahead as well. But what we might do. Also, we've been talking for far too long, so we gotta get off soon.
Oh, jeez. Just seen the time. Wow.
What we could do is we could come back on like Wednesday or Tuesday of next week, and preview, do another kind of. Recap the rest of the tournament before we do the final, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I like that. Do you want to do the Takeover 25 card for like 3 seconds?
Oh, that's a good point. We promised we preview it, so we have to. Let me have a look.
Yeah. Oh, wow, this is...
Is it really the 25th Takeover, by the way? That's crazy.
It is, yeah, I checked. This card looks like it could be... Huh.
Okay. Oh, God, that tag team match is something.
I know. I was like, oh god.
Okay, so I think this is going to be one of the best takeovers we've seen in a long time.
You think so?
Yeah. I think Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze will be really good. And then I think Shayna Io is going to absolutely bang. I can't see that being amazing. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, Shayna has had great matches with so many people, and Io Shirai is possibly the best women's wrestler of the last, 10 years.
Probably.
They might not sync. They might not. They're both liable to be the dominant character in the story, which gives me a pause. But they're so good at wrestling, and they're so good at it's going to be grappler's flyer style, and they're both very good at that. And there's going to be so many stiff strikes. Oh, it should be great. I hope it's good. It should be. And then Riddle Roderick Strong is going to bang as well.
Oh, I saw that and I immediately went, oh, why the fuck did they not just put the North American title on Riddle?
Didn't they? And then he dropped it, or am I just imagining that?
No, the last show or whatever, we definitely thought that Riddle was going to beat Dream, and then he just didn't. If you're going to have him wrestle on every single show, you should probably just have a belt. I
think they want a token non-title match as much as possible. I know they don't do it on every show, but they do like to have their non-title matches.
Isn't that like Velveteen Dream's entire thing?
Yeah, but now he has a belt.
I know, it's just like, I feel like you can do Dream Breeze on its own, and then Riddle Strong gets even cooler if you have like a belt to it. I don't know.
I agree. The reason why we thought Dream was going to drop is because we thought he was getting called up, but that appears to never be happening. So
never ever.
He's going to get called up to AEW. It's going to happen. So the other developmental branch. I think this is going to be a really cool card. If you got the network, then I definitely watch it. We might talk about it at some point next week. What do you think for predictions? Who's going to win all these matches?
Riddle, Dream,
who cares?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Maybe Street Profits, I guess.
Why are the tag team titles vacant? What happened? Oh, no. Is it because the War Raiders got called up?
Oh, God, it is. So I could see the Street Profits winning, because I'm pretty sure the Undisputed Era is, breaking up. They're mid-breakup right now.
I love it. On the fucking list of NXT Tag Team Champions, it lists them as War Raiders / the Viking Experience / the Viking Raiders.
Awesome. I think Io's going to beat Shayna, and in the main event, Shawn Michaels is going to come from heaven.
Cash in his Money in the Bank comes.
He's going to super kick Adam Cole and allow Johnny to return.
Okay, I'm going to go with Riddle, Breeze.
Ooh!
Because Dream's getting called up, damn it.
Oh yeah, right, okay.
Street Profits so that they can unify them with the Evolve titles.
Ooh.
Shayna, because Io's getting called up, damn it. And Cole, because Gargano's getting called up, damn it.
That's interesting because I think there's I'm sure they will call somebody up after the show, because I think now I think
if Io loses, I don't think if Io wins, I don't think Shayna's getting called up. I think that's a rematch. I think that's like a 3-month feud.
No, I agree with that. I think they have about 2 or 3 matches between the two of them.
Because Shayna's so good in NXT, and she won't be on the main roster.
Well, I can't see not doing that when realistically. Also, you don't have anybody who can go and fight Io. Maybe Belair, but isn't she supposed to be a face? Like,
oh yeah, Io can definitely be a heel.
Well, no, they wouldn't turn Io heel. She's a cute little Japanese girl, right? They can't be heels. That's how that works.
Well, she can be a heel.
Looks over at Kata.
No, I mean, she can be a heel while keeping the exact same character she has now. That's what she's just like. She is that. She is the perfect ace. She can be completely babyface until she gets in the match, and then you will hate her.
So she can. No, I'm trying to think of any time that's happened in WWE. I guess
John Cena.
I was gonna say Cena at certain points, like when they really care to.
Roman Reigns a few times. Although Roman does kind of the opposite thing.
I was gonna say,
where he's like a heel the entire time, and then he has a good match and just gets the crowd into it.
I was gonna say he's like, oh, I'm the big dog, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then he wrestles like he's a big dog who's gonna kick your ass, and it's like, oh wait, I kind of like you, and then sometimes he does some underdog stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, you can actually do a lot of different things very well.
You're emotional. It has been emotional.
And then, go ahead, if you want to take it home.
Yeah, this card's going to be fun. I've really enjoyed Best of Super Juniors. You thought it was... We didn't kind of conclude. I think you said at the start of the show that you thought it had been quite an average tournament. Was that just, at the start, or I guess you haven't seen as much, but do you still think that? Or... Yeah.
Well, I would have gone with the argument. I think I've seen more than you. I've seen B Block. I've seen the horrors of the other side. I think for every good thing that there is in this tournament so far, there's been like an equal reaction on the other side, where a match is just so boring or so terribly worked, that it kind of almost levels itself out. I would say I'm enjoying the tournament overall because the goods are very good and the bads are. I can like walk away for a little bit or something, maybe. I don't know. I take a walk and then I come back maybe and I'll finish the rest of it and I'll just like cry to myself. But yeah,
Yeah, I think, that's fair. I definitely think that's fair. I think in any tournament you're going to accept that there's going to be some quieter moments because there's like 90 matches in the tournament or something.
Yeah.
And you have to fill them all up in order to get the points, and the points make the drama, especially towards the end. So... I haven't seen all of the B block, but I've seen my fair slice of the tournament, and I've been watching these shows for like 4 years or so, ever since they started putting the highlights up. Probably even longer than that, actually. But yeah, ever since they started actually like showing the shows on New Japan World, it's only been like 3 years since they've started showing all the shows. It used to only be like highlights and stuff. I remember waking up like in the summer of 2015, 2016, and watching like no commentary shows from fucking gymnasiums, watching Tiger Mask wrestle Ricochet and being like, this isn't terrible. So I definitely, and look, there have been some really good fucking stories in Best of Super Juniors over the last few years. In particular, I really, really, really enjoyed the story they managed to pull out of Ryusuke Taguchi in 2016. It's one of my favorite stories in wrestling. But with all that said, I do genuinely think this is the best tournament I've seen from Best of the Super Juniors. I think the Shingo stuff, the show stuff, has been really good, and I think they've been able to undercard that with Dragon Lee. I think Kanemaru and Tiger Mask being more impressive than I thought. Taka's been fun to watch at times, and Marty Scurll's been alright as well. There's just been some fun stuff. It's been really fresh as well. We've had stuff like Shingo come in, and that story's just never been told in Best of Super Juniors as far as I've been watching. You've got the traditional stuff is almost a niche at this point, the technical and the flying, because you've got all the other stuff. You've got a guy running around with a whiskey bottle, a guy running around with an umbrella, and something. And, it's not even the bullshit, the old school bullshit, but the Bullet Club stuff. That's mainly happening in the other block with Phantasmo. Right? In A block, like the stuff that's actually the cheating is fun. It's really fun. I enjoy it. It's just very different. We're literally on one of the Korakuen shows in the middle of A block. They just have a lucha match. There's literally two luchadors having a luchador match, and it's very, very fun. And it's very, very different. And every single night of Best of Super Junior so far, I feel like I can point to something and say that felt different, and that kind of culminated. And again, I'll just briefly touch on this because you haven't seen the show. In Night 9, the final Korakuen night, where everything from A Block on Night 9 just was different. Everything. That was like, there was just this archetype that was slightly different. The Lucha match was on that show. The Shingo match was slightly different. There was a Marty Skrull Kanemaru match, which was like, wow, that's really interesting and fun. And it didn't overstay its welcome. And just everything. And the Will Ospreay match, he had a match with a young boy, and it just felt really different. And that's been my highlight of Best of Super Juniors this year. It just feels different, and I like it. So hopefully that can continue. We'll be back for some Best of Super Juniors content next week. The final is on Thursday. If you haven't watched it, it's not actually that much content, honestly, especially if you only watch the A Block. It's very easily for you to catch up. There's a really big match on Sunday. It's a very big match for A Block. So if you want to catch up, now is the best time to do it because you can still get in on the block fun. Why don't you wrap us up, Tucker? What are your final thoughts on the week?
I think
AEW,
the week past or the week before? Oh, okay. I think overall it's a very interesting time to be watching pro wrestling. There's some good, some bad, some questionable, and some downright hilarious. We want to thank you all so much for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. For Putty and myself, this is Silly Tuck, signing out.